Welcome back to the Madhouse as we are getting set for our main event on the night, the Fox 8 WGHP 100 for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. Once again, I'm Eric Brennan, joined tonight by Tim Packman. And Tim, at the beginning of our broadcast, we were able to see some of the opening ceremonies that happened here, and they went through a list of significant events here on July 23rd at Bowman Gray Stadium. This date is also really important for one of the biggest figures in modified racing as well.
In the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the driver, the Rapid Roman driver, the number 61, famous orange, Richie Evans, would have been 81 years old today. So happy birthday, Richie, and I got goosebumps just saying that. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty amazing what he was able to accomplish in his career. And as our stat guy, Justin Mincy, or stat man, or stat boy, or
stat man,
stat aficionado, as he
okay.
mentioned, two-time winner here at the Madhouse as well. And interesting fact about Matthew Dillner, when he arrives for work for his typical duties here at the Madhouse, he oftentimes tries to park in spot number 61. Now, I may have just given away where Matthew's car is oftentimes located, so he'll get me back for that one later, I'm sure. But nevertheless, we have a really healthy field of cars, an incredible championship points battle. So what do you say, Tim? You want to roll into our starting lineup?
Let's meet these wonderful drivers and these beautiful machines. The ground pounders on the pole position from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That's the 04 of Brandon Ward. Tied in points right now. Outside him from Mount Airy, North Carolina, that's the 16 of Chris Fleming. Number 5, that'll be Randy Butner from Pfafftown, North Carolina, and a previous winner here this year, and a former Truck Series competitor out of Huntersville, North Carolina. And the number 65, that's Danny Bond.
Starting in the 5th position, a driver has a win under his belt already. One of 10 winners on the season for the Brad Golf Cars Modifieds out of King, North Carolina, the number 51 of Junior Snow. Outside, another driver who has gone to victory lane once this season. Driving for the Hillbilly Motorsports team, and the familiar number 79 will be Zach Brewer, starting in 6th. Row 4, on the inside, you will find Daniel Beeson, who's been so close so many times here at the Madhouse. Could tonight be the night? He'll be starting car 44 in 7th spot. Outside, car number 3, great starting opportunity for Danny Probst out of Monroe, North Carolina.
In the 9th position out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, that'll be number 40, Luke Fleming. To his outside, co-leading the points with Brandon Ward. Coincidentally, or ironically, they both have not won a race this year. The number 83 out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina, that is Tim Brown. Last week's winner, starting 11th, the number 55 from Wesley Chapel, Florida. That is Jeremy Gerstner. The crowd went crazy. Let's see if they're going to do it again. Another winner here this year from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the number 69 of John Holloman IV.
Now we get back to the 13th starting position, driving car number 22 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 3-time winner on the season, and one of the 100 lappers that have taken place so far in 2022. John Boy, Jonathan Brown, will be starting on the inside of row number 7, outside, in a car that finished second here not that long ago, driven then by Dan Speeney. Tonight, it's Mike Speeney in the number 37, starting in 14th spot. Now we get into the drivers who accepted the fans challenge, racing for an additional $9,000. They could race their way up to the top 4. Inside of row number 8, it'll be the number 75 of Lee Jeffries out of Wahlberg, North Carolina. Outside, who knows, surprise, also accepted the fans challenge out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, driving car number 1, Burt Myers in 16th spot.
And his brother in the 17th spot out of Walnut Cove as well. The number 4 of Jason Myers. To his outside, the number 05, starting 18th out of, that is Bussy Beavers. The number 68, that'll be Eddie Collins in the 19th position. And in the number 41, Corey Lovett will be starting 20th.
21st spot, the team car to Lee Jeffries. And number 77 is Susan Harwell out of Jonesville, North Carolina. And on the outside, Shauna McGlamory in the number 14 machine. And rounding out our field in the number 88 will be that of Dennis Jarrett, our 23rd and final starter.
With 100 laps of action here, you want to get to the front, you want to get down, you want to find your spot, you want to run comfortable. You have 100 laps of action here tonight, and I'm telling you, this is Bowman Gray, and you know there's only one way to pass here, and that's the hard way. And if you can get, nobody really passes to the outside. If you do, it's very rare, and you have a darn good car. What are you looking for here tonight, Eric?
Well, there's a couple of storylines to keep an eye on, right? So we mentioned the fans challenge. One driver who did not say yes is the driver who is tied with our pole sitter, Brandon Ward, for the championship point lead. That would be Tim Brown. Now, one thing to note, when they do these 100-lap races, it's a full field redraw. So there's still a risk involved to maybe having to hang out back. For Brown, he was fortunate enough that the draw wasn't all that bad. bad. He drew 10th, so he'll be up there in the front half of the field at least when the race starts, while Brandon Ward will be on pole. But the other three drivers, Lee Jeffries, Burt Myers, Jason Myers, very humbly said at the beginning, it's been a long time since I won $9,000 in a race. Tonight could be the night, and he's going to take his shot and start further back in the running order to give himself that chance. All they got to do is get up through the carnage and finish top 4 to collect that check. And Justin Mincy, I believe that if more than one of them get up to the top 4, it would be the highest finishing or the highest runner, or they actually split it. Okay, so they actually would split it down the middle. So there's a chance here that more than one of these drivers could go home with some extra cash in the pocket.
So what we have here is we kind of have a race within a race. We have the one for the checkered flag and the points on the line, and then you have a race going on for $9,000 if one of the guys we talked about can indeed get up to the 4th position, 4th or higher in the running order. Oh, look at, you hear that sound? That's a beautiful sound. The ground pounders have come to life here at Bowman Gray for 100 laps of action. I'm telling you what, this doesn't get any better.
One of the dignitaries from Fox 8, WGHP, helping us fire up the sound that we all love to hear in terms of motorsports. These cars are bad fast. They're a lot of fun, according to many drivers who've been able to wheel all sorts of different vehicles. But boy, do they just do something special on this 1/4 mile layout. And I think tonight we're going to add more moments to what's already been a pretty significant highlight reel on the Bowman Gray schedule in 2022. And I think this 100-lapper between the Fans Challenge and the championship race, hold on tight if you're watching along on Flow Racing. This is going to be a blast.
Get your popcorn ready, right?
Probably 2 bags. I would say you need at least 2 bags for what we're about to see.
Yeah. It's kind of like going to watch a long movie, you know?
So the field has now begun their parade and pace laps with co-point leader Brandon Ward starting on the pole. We mentioned the season really starting to wind down. We've only got a handful of races left. In fact, 4. Once we're done with tonight's racing action, next week, July 30th, it'll be the Colors Edge Sportsman 100. That will also have all other series in action as well. August 6th, the Great Clips 100, yet another 100-lap modified event for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. August 13th, twin 50-lappers for the modified division. We'll also have a skid race on tap that night, and we'll wrap up the season here at the Madhouse August 20th with a Carolina Farm Credit 150. That is a 150-lap modified event to decide our champion, and it will be double points for all divisions. If you can't be here for what I think we could agree is one of the best tickets in motorsports, you can catch it all live on Flow Racing.
But we appreciate you tuning in and joining us here tonight on Flow Racing, and I'm watching these cars, and they're going to get warmed up a little bit. But these ground pounders, when they come to life and they roar across that track and they get going, there's nothing like it. You get goosebumps from these guys.
It is unbelievable. Even on a track this small, this tight, this compact, there's a reason why we have so many people here in the grandstands. So far, we've had 10 different winners on the Brad Golf Cars Modified season. That is the most winners in a season since 2017, when 12 different drivers went to victory lane. Thanks to our stat man, Justin Mincy, for that one as well. It's been quite the year.
I want to mention the reason we kind of wrap things up so early in August. There's a lot of racing left. The weather's great. The infield you see here becomes a football field, and that's why the racing has to end, because now it's time to play football.
You actually had a lot of members from Wake Forest here tonight engaging with the crowd and just getting ready to quite literally shift gears into what will be football season. And we mentioned that stat that Justin just passed along. We talked about the fact that we have 2 point leaders right now because of that tie. You enter in the fact that neither of them have won a race so far this season. That would get you to 12 like we saw in 2017. It's possible with the amount of racing we have left that we could eclipse that record or at least get to a point where we've passed that number from a handful of years ago. It's pretty wild as we're a lap away from the green flag.
One to go here, and this is one of those races where you do not want to drive off your hood pins. What I mean by that is you have to look beyond the front of your car. You have to look 2-3 cars ahead, because your race can be dependent, about someone else in front of you, and you definitely want to be driving defensively but aggressively.
So here we go. You got a driver on the front row who is trying to protect a point lead. You got a driver outside the front row who's had an amazing season trying to add more wins to the win column. Randy Butner and Danny Bone take it to row 2, while Junior Snow and the 79 of Zach Brewer to row 3. It is time for yet another 100-lapper for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. The Fox 8 WGHP 100 is not going to go.
No.
Tim, the theme continues, yet we can't start one of these races the first time by.
They're jittery, they're excited, they want to get out there and get front, but you have to have that side-by-side restart to make it legit. We thought it was us a couple weeks ago. Then we thought it was Matt Dillner. You know what? It's not us at all. It's the drivers. It's the stars in the cars that have to do this, and they're going to make it or break it here on these initial starts.
Take two. And this
Caution
one's not going to
again.
go either.
Oh, in the wall, the number 65 goes up against the wall. Danny Bond got it rubbed up into the wall there.
Yeah, Bowman got shoved up into the fence in his North American Construction number 65. One of the premier partners on that car. Scott Braddock was intending on coming down south and being here for the race. Got a little bit too tied up with work. I'm sure he's watching from home. And I'm not sure if Bowman is trying to make it to the pit area or if he was sending a warning to Zach Brewer. No,
Sparks.
he's pitting.
He's got sparks.
Wow. So one of the favorites. He won the 200-lap season opener here, the Hayes Jewelers 200 that kicked off the season, was going to start up in the front two rows, and Danny Bowman has to pull to the pit area with damage to what appeared to be the right front.
Yep, the right front, and he got pushed up into the wall here coming out of turn 4 for the start-finish line, and now we can see him in the pit area. The crew is rushing over there to jump in and see what they can do to get him back out there.
And they may try, especially because of how that incident unfolded before we got to the green flag. They will give that team an opportunity to what I hope is just replace a right front tire. Great job by our camera crew here to be able to capture this shot as we can now wait on the status of Danny Bowman to get that car out here again, looking for his second win of the season, running what has been a very limited schedule here at Bowman Gray.
Well, whatever they're doing, it is concentrated on the right front of the car, like you said, and now the crew is thrashing at it. And here he comes. Danny is going to return to the action.
And right in time, as the one-to-go signal has been given by the flag stand. They're going to allow Bowman to join the tail end of the pack, which means he will not be able to get his starting spot back.
That hurts.
Outside of row number 2. So, 3 times the charm, Tim? What do you think?
3 for Dale. I mean, come on. Let's see what we can do here. They're going to line up side by side. You see the pace vehicles off to the inside. Lights are off. Here, it looks like a good pace coming through here, Rick.
Once again, Brandon Ward and Chris Fleming. This time we get the green flag, and we are underway with Ward jumping out to the advantage early. Fleming slots to second, side by side for third off 2.
These two cars have definitely jumped out the lead there. Middle of the pack action. These drivers are battling to get down to the low line because that's you want to be. The number 44 bobbles there, Daniel Beeson, and he's going to lose a lot of positions as a result.
Boy, Luke Fleming went dirt track in there with the left sides through turn 4 to take that spot away from Beeson, move him now up to 6th as the race leaders start to accordion back together. Meanwhile, Danny Bowman is trying to work his way further forward, but we're watching this fight further back between last week's winner, Jeremy Gerstner. They've got John Holloman stuck up on the high side on the right side of your screen.
Yeah, on the right side of the screen, like you said, Holloman stuck to the outside. He has been. This will be a third lap as they come around here to complete another lap. This will be lap number 3 in the books. He has been stuck to the outside, and there's only one way to go, and that's the low line here at Bowman Gray.
Jonathan Brown's going to pick up the spot. There's one of our first or highest running fans challenge acceptors, and Lee Jeffries trying to pick up a spot as Chris Fleming has arrived on the scene to fight for the lead. He's closed up on the backside of Brandon Ward, who has a lot to gain and also a lot to lose here tonight. We'll see what his intentions are as he desperately wants to get this team to victory lane tonight, and he continues to lead this field through turns 1 and 2.
And the number 5, Randy Butner, he is running exactly where he needs to be right now, close enough that if something happens to the 2 in front of him, he can take advantage, but also keeping him in his sights.
Butner running right there in that third spot as we watch Ward's car kind of hop over what is a bit of a light bump getting into turn number 1, with Fleming starting to turn up the pressure. Been a great year for Fleming. In some ways, though, it's been a bit of feast or famine. If he's not in victory lane, usually he ends up on the hook, typically not of something of his own doing. But he certainly wants to be the one to set the pace, and he's starting to turn up the heat just a little bit.
Fleming's giving him a couple shots there. Does it again right there in the apex of 3 and 4. But no, it's going to be Brandon Ward still showing the way as they come down the front straightaway at Bowman Gray. But Butner's right there. He's going to join in the action like I'm ready to do battle as well.
Behind this threesome, Junior Snow running lonely in 4th position, but this race amongst the top 3 continues to tighten up just a little bit more as the field comes down the main straightaway. Trouble, turn 4.
That's Gerstner and the 55 and the number 75 of Fleming. I'm sorry, Lee Jeffries. I apologize. Lee Jeffries, and they have come to rest there. As you can see, they're gonna bring out the caution, like we said. I don't know if these guys need to be separated, or they're just waiting for traffic to go by them.
Caution comes out with 9 laps complete unofficially. As a matter of fact, it's going to tick up here to 10 as caution laps are going to click off at this point in the race. So this will be the first time that we see the field slowed. And Tim, you were right there. Looks like that Jeffries was kind of beached up on the front nerve bar of Gerstner's car.
And he's going for that $9,000, the fan's choice. That's definitely going to set him back from that, trying to do, if he's trying to achieve that. Now Gerstner, I don't know if he has any damage on the left front or the front end at all, but he's going to try to see if he can get it going again. Well, he's rolling, but he has sparks. He's got to take it to the pit area. Unfortunate for last week's feature winner here in the Modifieds.
Gerstner's hopefully going to try to utilize the time allotted to be able to get that car repaired and back out. And we mentioned the fact that 1 week ago, Jeremy Gerstner scored what was a very, very popular win. The driver hails out of Wesley Chapel, Florida, and it finally paid off for him at the Madhouse. He's a very accomplished racer, has many modified wins and championships under his belt, has always been a threat to win, but if the stars finally aligned for him and his family, his young son JT, who recently underwent surgery not that long ago, was with him. He's back at the track here tonight along with his wife Dawn. The whole family was here, and it was one of the more popular victories that we've seen in quite some time because he always takes the time to talk to anybody, us talking heads, fans, you name it, and it's difficult to see after the high of last week, the quick low of what happened so early in tonight's feature event.
And we watched the 75 of Lee Jeffries there. He is going to go off to the pit area. He pulled up next to the pace car to go off. So something must be affecting his handling and needs to get that checked out.
Field continues to circulate behind the pace car with Brandon Ward still leading as he has since the start of this race, being that this is in fact an extra distance event for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. We get to see our buddy JB Cole in action here in about a lap or two. We are going to be seeing the choose cone come into play, and I keep thinking about some of these drivers who accepted that fans challenge, all of which pretty much are still mired in the back of the pack. We know that the 75s in the pit area haven't seen either of the Myers brothers make their way up through the pack just yet, perhaps saving their stuff. This could be a chance for them to gain a chunk of track position. I'm going to keep my eye on car 1 and car 4 when they approach this choose cone, which will be presented to the field this time through.
Here we go. Lee Jeffries rejoins the field. Still looking for Gerstner. They haven't seen him yet, but here we go. Choose cone's out. I think if you're going to take the inside. The first. No, he goes to the outside. Fleming. Wow.
Fleming elects to kind of re-rack the field as they came down and took the initial green flag in this manner. Not seeing too many drivers commit to the bottom. Tim Brown's going to gain a couple of spots by going to the outside. And this may not be the opportunity that Burt or Jason Myers needed. Burt's going to elect the bottom further back, and Jason will do the same. Looks like they're trying to just make sure they make it to the end of this 100-lapper. Remember, they've got to get up to the top 4 to get a shot at that $9 grand. But our eyes are on the race leaders. Brandon Ward outside, Chris Fleming as we get set for the restart.
Here we go. Watch the starter for the green flag. We have it. He cuts them loose. Here we go. And look at Ward. Jumps out to that big launch he got there at the start line.
Boy, it was almost chaos behind him. Zach Brewer muscled his way through on the front bumper, I should say off the front bumper of Junior Snow for the 4th spot. Snow almost sent him in the first corner. They live to fight another lap as it is Jonathan Brown trying to make the high side work. He's up alongside Daniel Beeson, who slides off the corner. Move Jonathan Brown up yet another position as the lead tightens up off 4.
And we're right back to where we were before the caution flag with first and second. Go on and nose to tail, bump. There you go. Hey, I'm here. Move out of the way. I want that lead. Brandon Ward says, no, I want the points, lead, I want the win, I want it all tonight.
Well, that time it looked as though Brandon Ward really backed up the center of the corner as we've got a problem potentially for Daniel Beeson. Looks like he's running a little bit slow there on the front straightaway. We'll see if that car is going to head over to the pit area. Looks like it's laying pretty hard on the right rear. We'll keep an eye on that as the leaders are nose to tail yet again.
Throw a blanket over the top 3, that's for sure. Here they come to the apex, 1 and 2.
As we watch the fight for the lead down the backstretch, Beeson has taken his car. We got smoke off further back. I believe Jason Myers has just lost the motor on that car as he went up in a big plume of smoke with the leaders arriving on the scene.
He goes right off into the pit area immediately. Good move by him. The caution flag will come out.
Wow. So as we come off here to click off 20 laps with Brandon Ward coming to the caution, one of the fans' choice drivers, second one tonight of 3. We watched that car go up in a plume of smoke, getting back to the throttle through turns 1 and 2. He immediately went to the pit area. The field was able to get by, but I believe the track workers saw something there on the low lane in turns 1 and 2. And they're going to have to do a little bit of cleanup here.
if nothing else, it's good to make sure. But now the drivers, you see they are going through there, and you see the safety workers with the caution flag out, like, okay, watch it through here. But I really don't see the cleanup cart went around there, checked everything out, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. I know the races were battling up, but you have 100 laps here, and Lee Jeffries, it looks like he's going to come pulling up. Here's the replay.
Going to get another look at it here, and I think right when he gets back to the gas, now leaving your frame, kablamo.
Yeah, out the exhaust is never a good thing.
I think all the paying customers in Turn 2 are happy because Jason may have gotten rid of some of the mosquitoes in that portion of the racetrack, if there were any, but nevertheless, well, I can't help but think, and before the race started, we were listening to what the drivers' decisions were when it came to that fans challenge. And Jason made that joke. It's been a long time since I could win $9 grand in a modified race, let alone the fact that he's probably got himself a costly repair on his hands as we continue to watch Gerstner and Daniel Beeson, who are back in the pit area.
Tim Brown is still on the...
Yeah, that's actually Tim Brown, who is in the pit area.
Yep, there he is. Wow, Tim Brown's in there, Gerstner's in there, Beeson's in there, Jennings is in there. What a great shot. All four of them right there in the pit area. And the crews are just jumping out there to see what they can do to fix it. Gerstner's been in there the longest, we should know. And it looks like his left front is where they're doing the most work on it. Here comes Jennings. He's going to roll out. And Brown is going to jump out there as well. So they gave up their track position. But looking at it right now, we're only 22 laps in. And they have 78 to go. I think they have a lot of time to work their way back to the front.
So I believe that Tim Brown and Lee Jeffries are potentially back on the lead lap. Got to confirm Jeffries there due to the fact that caution laps do count here. This is a heartbreaker, though, for Gerstner, and there's not a lot of urgency out of Daniel Beeson's camp. It looks like their nights may be over. As the choose cone is back out, Brandon Ward will elect the inside as they come down the main straightaway.
Steering wheel and helmets coming off of Beeson.
Heartbreaker for that journeyman driver, as the field is now in double wide formation. And as you can see, just like the last two starts, the initial start and the last restart, Chris Fleming has elected the top side on Brandon Ward for a shot at the race lead.
Do we get the green?
That's the question.
I think they've settled down enough to get the green on one shot here. I'll tell you what, Ward is backing it down, and he's the leader. He sets the pace. Oh, now he's not. Look at this.
Back underway here with 24 laps complete. Fleming is going to slot down to the inside of that second position. Junior Snow is going to pick up a spot in the scuffle. And Jonathan Brown is trying to crack the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Once again, Holloman there on the outside trying to race his way around to pick up some positions. And it looks like he might be holding on, doing a good job there.
Holloman trying to make that high side work on the right-hand side of your screen while Fleming continues to turn up the heat. Nudge, nudge, nudge on the back Nerf bar of Brandon Ward's car, who holds the lead there, washes up a little bit wide in the middle of the corner, kind of taking that double apex approach on each end of the racetrack, but Fleming looks to be a tick faster as they come back down the main straightaway. A little bit of a slip there by the 16 as they came out of turn number 2. Fleming had to check up. Didn't cost him too much ground. Trying to close back up here on Ward while Randy Butner rides in 5th and Junior Snow is closing in on the front 3.
And the battle's on right here. You can see that colorful number 79, Zach Brewer. He is now stuck to the outside as cars go by him. Holloman looking to take a position away.
Holloman finally got down to the bottom. Looked like he was going to try to make a move there on the Hillbilly Motorsports number 79, but could not quite do it as the battle for the lead remains separated by a car length. We're starting to see some cars work their way towards the front. Look at that 4th car in line on the right-hand side, the number 65 of Danny Bowman. He was in the wall on one of the first starts. Now gives a nudge to the back of Holloman off the corner. Danny Bowman starting to make some noise.
Also looking at your right screen, just about to come into it. Oh, there's a spin, I think, off turn number 2 there.
Caution flag is going to fly for what would be the 3rd time tonight as Danny Prost has gone for a spin off the 2nd turn. Prost, who had a pretty solid starting position, up in the 8th spot. That beautiful number 3 car here tonight. Prost running a part-time schedule so far in 2022 here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And this may be a very quick yellow as the choose cone is already on the start-finish line with Prost rejoining the tail end of the pack.
That's a cool car, the flat black with the midnight blue like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
We see the choose cone here, and I believe we're going to kind of wash, rinse, repeat with the front runners. Junior Snow elects the inside. That's going to move Jonathan Brown not only up into the top 5, but up into 4th. Car 22 to the outside of row 2 for the ensuing restart, while it's Snow and Luke Fleming in row 3.
if the restarts repeat what they've done so far, you're going to see Ward take off. Fleming's going to fall right behind him. Butner in the number 5 is going to try to come up and get his position back. If it repeats what it's done before, we're going to find out here in just a minute. A second, I should say.
Coming around a complete lap number 33 as Brandon Ward is on the gas, clear to the lead. And just as you mentioned, Tim, he's got the spot, but Zach Brewer has crashed in turn 1.
Right there in front of the camera, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 cars involved.
So while things worked out for Chris Fleming, I believe Zach Brewer and Luke Fleming were trying to argue over who should have the inside lane in the first corner, and Brewer spun broadside in front of the pack. You saw Danny Bowman and Tim Brown drive away. Neither car appears to have major damage, but Zach Brewer in the Hillbilly Motorsports number 79 remained stationary there in turn 1. We'll see if he can get that car rewrited and rejoin the field with yet another caution flag.
He's trying. He rolled it forward there. I don't know if it was gravity taking it down, but I don't see him. It is fired up. He's going to try to spin around there and rejoin the field.
Zach Brewer out of Arcadia, North Carolina, was tagged to drive this car here at Bowman Gray Stadium in 2022. He's done an incredible job all season long. Let's go back and see how this event unfolded. And Fleming really trying to get to the inside and kind of hip-checked Zach Brewer.
Yeah, he went to the see right there. He caught them together. Then he spun through the infield and came out and tagged him. And then the other cars had no place to go. Had to get on the binders and stop them as quick as you can to avoid any damage. Once again, right there. Yep.
Luke Fleming went on a nice slide there through the infield grass himself. For Brewer, if you want to talk about racing karma, I'm sure he's not happy to be facing backwards, but he did take the 40 with him, as those were the initial 2 offenders to cause this most recent incident. And you saw Danny Bone there, wrong place, wrong time, nowhere to go. And Tim Brown, the co-point leader, stomping on the binders to try to stop his car from sustaining too much damage there in the orange number 83.
So he kind of went off, and they come back around, went through the grass, and tagged him again. And he goes around, and then he comes to a stop, and he collects the other 2. And Bone, you see there, his left front went right up on the car of Zach Brewer.
Good observation by our stat guy, Justin Mincy, who points out that the left front of the Brewer car may be towed out a little bit, thus the reason why he has taken that car back to the pit area. And he may not have all that much time to get it back out here. As you see, the one, the only, J.B. Cole dropping that shoes cone at the center of the start-finish line like a boss, and ready to watch to see how we will rack the field. We still got a long way to go. We're not even halfway yet. There's your running order as things stand for now. We'll see if it stays that way by virtue of the choose.
I think we're going to see the same thing. Ward's going to take the inside, Fleming to the outside, Butner into 3rd. Now here goes the number 22 like he did before. Slides up in there. He's going to start 4th. And Holloman, though, he's going to take that outside, which surprises me because he keeps getting stuck out there, losing all kinds of positions when he could maybe take the low line and pick up even more that way.
Not seeing many cars be able to prevail on that outside. By the way, fans challenge update as they come to this restart. Burt Myers will be restarting in 7th spot. Still a long way to go as Ward and Fleming are about to bring us back down to green.
Restart follows just like they have before. There goes Ward. Here comes Fleming, Butner. Now look at this. The 22 wants in on the action. He's going to stay right there to the outside. Look at this. He challenges for 3rd, and he gets 3rd.
Just as I say, I've not been able to see a car work the outside all that well. Jonathan Brown goes ahead and proves me wrong right away as he's up into the 3rd spot and looking for more. He's all over the backside of Chris Fleming as they come down the backstretch.
Yep, Fleming and him, they are battling it out. And look at this now. The number 22 is sliding right up in there. He's going to try to get up to the 2nd place, but Fleming's got his sights set on the lead. Let's see how this fall shakes out.
All the while, we watched Luke Fleming lose a couple of spots there as he got trapped to the outside lane. We flash back up further forward to Brandon Ward. Chris Fleming running nose to tail right now. It seems like it takes Chris Fleming a couple of laps in order to get that car where he's ready to start applying pressure. And once it comes into him, he is a bit relentless here with the warning shots. That time, he shoves them wide.
He's getting more and more aggressive with those shots. I think Ward backed him down on that one, so he didn't get as close. But here he goes. He gets him in the apex of the turns every time, and Ward's manages to battle him out of the exit of turn 2 and turn 4.
That time, another pretty significant shot to the back bumper of Brandon Ward's car. As Jonathan Brown starts to enter the picture, I think the sense of urgency is going to creep up a little bit for Chris Fleming as he wants to get the lead as we inch closer to halfway.
Once again, Ward, though, battles him off the turns, and that's where he seems to be getting his most power off of there and his best. Now look at this. Here comes the 22 of Brown. He is now batting on the bumper of Fleming, who hasn't had that happen all race.
Being that this is a 100-lap event for the Fox 8 WGHP 100 for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, perhaps Brandon Ward is intentionally trying to set a slower pace for the moment so he could save some stuff for the end. Jonathan Brown, though, appears to be heading in just one direction, forward. As you're right, he's really starting to heat up the backside of Chris Fleming in that 16.
Now Fleming's going, hey man, I haven't had this all race. I've been beating on the bumper of Ward. Now he's got to defend the front and the back of his car.
All the while, they've left Randy Butner behind for the time being, who runs in the fourth spot. John Hollam in the fourth. It looks like that shoes option did prevail as he's currently running in fifth. But this is your top three on your screen. And we are coming up now just about 3 laps shy of the halfway mark, with Ward starting to open up the gap. The race for second continues to be the best on track. And there's a nudge to the backside of Fleming from Brown.
Brown is not even shy about it. It's like, hey, man, I'm right here. And I know we talk about sometimes, set your pace, save it to the end. They're not saving anything here. What I'm seeing is these guys are racing their guts out for all 100 laps.
And it's been a bit of ebb and flow. We mentioned that Butner was falling a little bit too far back behind this fight for the race lead. Now you're starting to see Butner's front nerf bar come into the frame as well. But it's still Brandon Ward, who's led since the drop of the green flag, with Chris Fleming in second. And that is your top two on your screen as we are going to be coming up on the cross flags. Chief starter Randy Smith indicating we are halfway home.
Halfway to go for the rest of this show here for the Modifieds. And it is single file style for pretty much all the way around the track.
You see the running order there on the left-hand side of your picture. As we mentioned, Brandon Ward, Chris Fleming running first and second with Jonathan Brown and Randy Butner, your front four. They're all on the main straightaway together. And right now it appears as though Fleming may be trying to size up another attack. Let's drop back and check in on a couple of other cars, including one of the Fans Challenge participants. Car 1, Burt Myers working over Junior Snow. That's a race for sixth. Lee Jeffries with a great comeback so far tonight. He rides just behind Myers.
Hey, man, $9,000 is $9,000. You can do what you can to get to fourth.
Absolutely, and they're not that far away, but the field has been strung out just a little bit. With this racing continuing on the main straightaway, Myers has a look down low on Snow, but can't quite get alongside.
As this action you see in your screen there on the bottom right hand, on the right-hand side, Hollam in there, he is holding his own pretty well as he gets to the low line, but they are bunched up. And we're looking at Myers there in the number one. He needs to get up into the fourth position if he wants that $9,000 tonight.
See the separation on the left side of your screen between the front two. It continues to be about 2 car lengths while the race continues for sixth on back. Make that fifth on back as John Hollam in the fourth has fallen back into the clutches of this fight. Down through turns 1 and 2. They flash by our speed shot in 1 and 2. And up on the back straightaway, it's Hollam and Snow. Myers, Jeffries still running fifth on back respectively.
And now they're trying to get around Hollam, and if they can get around him, I think it's going to open up some racing room for those guys behind him, because I don't want to say he's slowing them down, but it looks like he has gathered up those 3 cars behind him, and they want to go forward.
That may be the tipping point for this race here. If things were to get a little bit too physical amongst these drivers as they continue to fight for position, with Holloman holding on to the final spot in the top 5, they'd have to go, Burt and Lee Jeffries that is, they'd have to go a long ways to get up there and catch Randy Butner, who holds down that all-important 4th position should this race stay green.
And you're watching, now some of these guys are starting to do the diamond effect in the corners to save their tires a little bit. And I don't know if that helps them or hurts them as far as speed goes, but if that's what they're trying to do, then everyone else is catching on to it. Someone might take advantage of that aspect of the race when they get to that point.
Going to be coming up on 40 laps to go for the Fox WGHP 100 here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And it's been all Brandon Ward ahead of the pack. You see the top 3. On the left-hand side of your screen, make that top 2 with Chris Fleming closing up closer perhaps yet again for another charge. He gets real close to the backside of Ward, but that time I saw that 16 get a little bit sideways getting back to the loud pedal.
He got a little bit to on the inside there, and he got caught on the semi-rumble strips that they have now, but it doesn't even affect him too much as he comes roaring right back to see if he can get up there to the number 04 of Ward.
Race for the lead on your left, race for 5th on your right-hand side of the screen as the action continues throughout the pack. Fleming, we saw him give warning shot after warning shot, and now Ward's been able to build and maintain that 2 to 3 car length advantage, and it looks as though that deficit might be growing ever more. And Jonathan Brown has fallen back a little bit there in the 22 from the front runners as it continues to be a 2-car race at the head of the field, working our way through the second portion of this race.
And if you're looking at this, as far as Ward goes, he's looking for the win, his first one of the year. He's also thinking points. because the point lead, he was shared that with Tim Brown when they came into it. But Tim Brown is about 9 positions behind him right now. So Ward he's got two things going on, a race win and also to widen the points lead.
And all the while, Tim Brown is not running up towards the top 5 right now, but the consistency of his season as he's been able to put together solid results has kept him alive in the championship fight. And perhaps the most amazing stat is the fact that Brown and Ward have yet to win. Could tonight be the night for Brandon Ward? He's been doing a great job at the head of the pack as the yellow flag is out. Caution. With 66 laps in the books, make that 67 as Brandon Ward comes to the line. We believe there might be some debris out on the racetrack, and the yellow flag will fly. Wow, this is going to reset the field a little bit here.
Huh. Now does the choose cone come out again? Let's see if this is going to be a big factor in what decisions people are going to make here.
So, as we approach the 2/3 distance mark of this event, right now, we're going to pretty much hit the reset button here as our track officials are working the area down there on the turn 3 side of the racetrack. Check that, turn 2 side of the racetrack. Looks like Danny Prost is going to pick up an opportunity here to head to the pit area. I think this is where we're going to start to see who has what. If there's any question of drivers conserving their tires for this portion of the program, this is go time. This is now, in fact, that moment. As you see the running order here as things stand right now with Brandon Ward leading in the 0-4, followed by Chris Fleming in the 16. Jonathan Brown, who's had a really good charge up through the pack there in 4th. And Danny Bowman is going to take an opportunity to go to the pit area as well.
Probst took the lucky dog. That's what he did.
Ah, good. That's right.
I was watching him. He did not pull in. He said, oh, yeah, the lucky dog. Forgot about that part.
As we watch Jonathan Brown's car run up there in the 3rd position, I figure this is a good time to remind some of our listeners and viewers of some of the unique things that happen off the racetrack as we see the work going on Danny Bone's car there right now. I know a lot of the highlights from the racing that we had last week were pretty physical, entertaining, depending on who you ask, but nevertheless really enjoyable. But there was something that went on this past week, and it involved Jonathan Brown and a number of his supporters as well. This past Tuesday, there were several members of the short track media landscape in this region, including that of Chris Carter, Doc Love, and others. They put together a fundraiser, an initiative for young Emma Brooks, a 9-year-old child who's going through a pediatric cancer battle. Several members of the Bowman Gray Stadium team went out to help out and participate in that. In fact, it's too many to list. And they raised over $2,900 for that young girl at a local sports bar. An incredible initiative for these drivers who do so much more than put on their helmets and go to battle here at the Madhouse as we see the choose cone yet again.
That's a good story. Thanks for sharing that. And as it's good to know they look beyond the track sometimes and help others around them. Which you're going to find in a lot of short track communities, but it's always good to see when it happens. Okay, here we go. So, just as we did before, Ward takes the inside, Fleming takes the outside. Now, Jonathan in the 22, Brown, now he's in 3rd. He didn't have that before. Look at Holloman.
This may be the biggest variable of this race so far. Butner's not the 3rd car, or going to be that 2nd car on the inside. Let's see if Jonathan Brown's going to let Fleming get down low as we're back underway. Brown trying to fill the hole on the inside, but Fleming's going to slam the doors shut. Brown to 3rd. Holloman making the outside work to 4th.
And Butner falls back in the number 5. Shockingly, he's been run up there pretty strong, and cars are passing him on the outside, so something's going on there with this restart in the number 5 car.
And look who's up to 5th. 1 spot shy of the money. Burt Myers to P5. He's got John Holloman in the 4th out in front of the windshield there in the 69. As things start to accordion back together, that is a $9,000 pass potentially for Burt Myers as Lee Jeffries is 2 cars further back.
Well, if Burt Myers can get to him, but in the meantime, we're going to have to watch what's going on with these leaders. It's still single file. Holloman, though, is taking a look to the inside of Brown in the number 22.
I saw Brown get really loose there coming through turn number 4. It looked as like Holloman almost followed in the tire tracks as they came off the 4th corner. Again, a little bit of a bobble by John Boyd as they come down the front stretch. Losing touch there with 25 laps to go. Brandon Ward trying to go wire to wire. While there is so much action taking place, we've got the Fans Challenge in play, the Points Championship, and there's that fight for 4th with Myers threatening.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if he can indeed get to Holloman, and he's trying to. He's trying to give him the apex of the turns there. Seems to be the place he can get him. But Holloman seems to get by him pass him off when they go out of the turn 4 and turn 2. Wait a minute. Holloman got loose right there. Something slowed on Holloman. Look who goes into fourth position. That is a potential $9,000 pass. Wow.
And the fans are aware, as there was a standing ovation for the Burt Myers fans in the house here, but we've got to fight for the lead starting to develop as well. Jonathan Brown's car is coming back to him. Myers holds that important fourth spot behind him, but this is your front three as we are approaching what will be 20 laps to go next time by.
There's so much action going on here with the positions and leads and point leads and $9,000 passes. This is quite a heck of an interesting race here at Bowman Gray with the modifieds. Didn't expect anything else, though. Here we go as they come out of four, still single file. No one really trying to battle for position there. And the top four are starting to take off. Caution flag is out.
And it is Mike Speeney who has gone around in turns 3 and 4. We mentioned the fact that Dan Speeney had a great ride in this car last time out. It sounds as though there may be plans for one of these drivers, perhaps Mike, to go full-time at the Madhouse in 2023.
Well, it's good that he does that. He takes a year here, figures out if he likes it, if he can do it, and go back next year and let's commit.
Even though we mentioned after tonight there's still 4 races left to go, a lot of these teams already thinking about next season, what their plans are going to be, where their funding sources are going to come from. And we see here Speeney perhaps not too happy with Luke Fleming in the 40, giving him a little bit of a nudge down the main straightaway that time through. Nothing too dramatic. And that front Nerf bar in Speeney's car also looks like it's been through well, I'd say it looks like it's been through 81 laps of a modified race at the Madhouse.
You know, the thing at the Madhouse, if you're going to have a 100-lap race, especially the modified, someone's going to get their feelings hurt. You can just count on it.
All the time, every time. We may not be done yet. Choose cone on the main straightaway, and I got to give it to Chris Fleming. He has chosen the outside every single time. Burt Myers, though, has done the same. He's going to start in the 4th spot. That's where he needs to be to claim that Fans Challenge prize. But there is such a risk involved of getting trapped up there and falling out of that front 4.
I'm going to say he doesn't because Holloman fell off the pace there when he came out of 4 there, and that's when Myers moved up. So I think it's going to go just as we've seen every other. Ward takes off, Fleming falls in behind, then the other 3rd and 4th are going to fall behind. I could be wrong. Let's find out.
17 laps to settle it. We're back underway. Brandon Ward gets out to a huge advantage. Well, I say huge. It's about 2 car lengths off of turn 2. Myers does solidify himself there in 4th spot. Now up to 5th is that of Junior Snow as there's contact behind them. 3 cars up into the wall, and the last 2 are going to be that of Luke Fleming and Danny Bone.
They'll bring out the caution once again. Well, they're good to go. They are rolling away from it. It just seemed like a little incident, a little racing deals they got up there, but you don't want to go up in those walls because these walls do not forgive one bit.
Well, the tough night continues for Danny Bone as he's been involved in a couple of incidents today, a lot of which just kind of developed in front of him. Let's go back and see what happened in this one. I believe the first contact starts with car 40 and car 5. Yes, Randy Butner got a nudge from Luke Fleming. Lee Jeffries with a little bit of a wheel hop there over Fleming's car.
Oddly enough, Jeffries is the one that managed to pull away with no damage whatsoever. Looks like he's going up to the wall. They get caught up there. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, pretty remarkable.
Butner did no damage whatsoever. The other 2 stopped.
Pretty remarkable, as you mentioned, Tim, that Lee Jeffries did not sustain major right front damage after climbing over the left rear of Luke Fleming's car. That 75 may or may not be ducking onto the pit area here as these laps are winding down quickly. It'll be now less than 15 to go. Jeffries stays on the racetrack, and it looks like we are going to go at least another lap here behind the safety vehicle. And it's going to be a free pass, as you'll see momentarily through our speed shot for Mike Speeney as we await that car to get back on the lead lap. And we should be seeing J.B. Cole put out that choose cone here. And, Tim, we're getting down to the pay window starting to open here for more than one driver in this field.
Getting to the pay window. I like that.
We got Brandon Ward, co-point leader, looking for his first win of the season. We've also got Burt Myers trying to finish in that front 4 for that $9,000 Fans Challenge. And still so much to be decided. We're about to see how they're going to re-rack him for the restart.
And Tim Brown has made his way up to, now he's only 5 positions behind the leader, so he's the point deficit that was earlier in the race has now shrunk down a little bit. Now he's going to line up 6th on the restart. Takes the high side.
We saw that car in the pit lane at one point tonight. Now he's going to restart outside of row 3. Let's see how this pans out. So, Brandon Ward, Chris Fleming, they've pretty much been your top 2 all night long. Jonathan Brown, Burt Myers trying to take home that Fans Challenge prize. Tim Brown runs 6th. Here we go. 12 laps to settle it here at the Madhouse.
Here they go. Ward jumps out. Fleming falls behind. There's Brown. And Brown, the other Brown is Tim Brown is trapped to the outside. He takes a rapid. Myers pulls away. Says, nope, not tonight. Not going to deal with it.
Clear to the lead is that of Brandon Ward, side by side, about 2 rows behind them here, with Brown trying to make the outside lane work on Junior Snow to get up to the top 5. That's Snow on the bottom in the black and pink number 51, Brown up top in the bright orange 83, and here's the fight for the lead with 10 laps to go.
And Brown finally falls back there. He got away from the 51, took a shot at him, and now they're back side by side. No, that's out into the inside. Brown's going to lose 2 positions on this.
Fleming with another nudge to the backside of Brandon Ward. Jonathan Brown waiting in the wings. Burt Myers looks happy to be in 4th right now to see how things unfold in front of him. Fleming trying to deliver a little bit of incentive for Ward to make a mistake. 8 to go, and they come back to the line.
Let's see Junior Snow there in the 51. As he can catch Myers, he will take that out of him. But you know what? The battle for the lead. Now it's 1, 2, and 3. Myers is going to hang back. Said, I don't need to get involved with this. I'm good on the points. I'm good on the $9 grand. You 3 go up there and go crazy.
That time, Brandon Ward was all sorts of sideways, but he's able to pull a gap on the exit of 4, as now Fleming's got his hands full with Jonathan Brown, who wants 2nd.
Yeah, Ward he's been doing his best work on the straightaways tonight. And definitely the power in that car definitely pulls him away from the rest of them.
And it seems like after a few laps, Brandon Ward's car starts to come to him. Chris Fleming is going to have to dig deep to look for a shot as time is running out. This time there will be 5 laps to go on Brandon Ward, trying to lead every lap of tonight's Fox 8 WGHP 100. But Chris Fleming's closing up once again.
If I'm Chris Fleming, I'm hanging on to that steering wheel as tight as I can, and I'm like, where do I make my move? Where do I make my move? But here comes Jonathan Brown in the 22. He's like, go ahead, you do what you got to do. I'm going to take it from both of you if you guys get together.
Ward trying to take sole possession of the points lead. Fleming looking for what would be his 4th win of the season if he could find a way past the driver of the 04 as they come down the main straightaway, and Jonathan Brown just waiting in the wings. Fleming has closed up to the back bumper again as they come out of 2.
Now he's pushing him down the straightaways. He has not done that all night. This is the first time he's taken a shot at him there. Once again, though, in the apex of the turns, he takes a shot at him.
Burt Myers holding down 4th with no pressure from behind. We watch the leaders down the back straightaway. The white flag will be waiting. Can Fleming make anything happen at the front of the pack?
Well, this is the time he's going to have to do it. He has 2 more turns to go. If he's going to make something happen, Jonathan Brown's waiting there too. Burt Myers, he's good in 4th. He says, I got $9 grand. I'm sitting right here. Don't bother me. Here we go. Out of turn 3 and 4.
Off the final corner, a dominating performance to pick up his 1st win of the season. Brandon Ward wins the Fox 8 100 at Bowman Gray.
Wow, what a run. What a run. What a run. Start to finish, led it. He got his 1st win of the year, and he now pads the points lead. That was a double win for him right there.
Courtesy of our stat man, Justin Mincy. This will break a 30-race winless streak for Brandon Ward, dating back to the 2019 season finale. And Ward is going back to victory lane with authority, taking claim of sole possession of the championship points lead. And it is hard to believe that with all the consistency he's compiled up to this point, this is the first time he's going to be able to celebrate such an honor, and he did it by leading every single lap.
Do you think they'll talk about this on Q104.1 this week?
I'm pretty certain they will.
Our car won, we did. Wow, what a race.
So Brandon Ward, your winner. Chris Fleming 2nd, Jonathan Brown 3rd, and Burt Myers did everything right to take home the Fans Challenge. He was the only driver of the 3 that volunteered to drop to the back. So if you're going to the bar tonight and you see Burt Myers, you know he's got the check.
Where's he going? Brandon Ward's 1st win in 30 races, like we said. That marks his 7th career win and 5th in the long distance races. That's pretty good.
Remarkable for the driver and team who's been so successful. Let's hear from him. First time this season we get to hear this voice in victory lane, and it'll be the new points leader, Brandon Ward.
Brandon Ward unstrapping after a hard battle for 100 laps, surviving restart after restart. Brandon receiving congratulations from his friends and crew. Let him hear it, folks. Here is your points leader and winner of the Fox 8 WGHP 100 this evening, Brandon Ward. Brandon. Brandon, you picked up your first win of the season, your first win here at the Madhouse since August 17th of 2019. It's been a long time. This is your 7th career win. How does it feel?
Man, it's awesome to get ourselves back where we need to be. We fought some problems all day. Phil Johnson, he worked hard. He tried to kind of help us tune on this thing before the race and got it going. It just took it a little bit too long to fire, but on the long runs, it was pretty spot on. So just want to thank these guys. It's been a long year. We've had a consistent, solid year, but it's all about winning to us, and it's about trying to get this thing back in victory lane for this New Day Motorsports team. And Kevin Powell, Jeff Day, this entire iHeartMedia, Q104 group, KevinSaysYes.com, Foothill Ford, Safe Day, Velocita, Color's Edge, Don and D Stone. I hope Don's here tonight. I don't know if he is, but I really hope he is. A1 Heating and Cooling by Marco, PME Engines, like I say, iHeartRadio, this entire group that's hung with us so long. Precision Built Spindle and all the hard work that Jeff Day does. Randy Renfro and all the Culture Motorsports group, Sammy Speaks, everybody that's stepped in and tried to help me this year, and real proud of this group.
Brandon, you survived a lot of restarts in that 100-lapper. Was there ever a point where you got a little nervous with Chris Fleming behind you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you always get nervous on those restarts here at Bowman Gray. You know, you're racing around a football field, and they're good, too. I knew Chris was better than we were for the first 6-7 laps. I knew we could get going once we could get away, after that. But, congratulations to Chris. He's had a great year, and he raced us clean tonight. Me and him have beaten Bane a little bit over the years over here and had some fun racing. But he raced us hard, raced us clean tonight, and I really appreciate that.
Well, congratulations again to Brandon Ward, the winner of the Fox 8 WGHP 100. He'll go to pick up hardware in the Carolina Wood Floor Winner's Circle.
First time we've seen Brandon Ward in victory lane. May not be the last time as he embarks on what could be a championship-winning season. And as you heard trackside, first time in a while that he's been able to bring this team to victory lane, and he did it in dominating fashion. More racing to come here at Bowman Gray Stadium. We're going to take a break. We'll be back after a short message here on Flow Racing.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is a city with a rich history of reinventing itself. Here you can wine and dine back in time, or raise a glass to the future. Witness history in the making, or savor the present moment. That's why you'll love visiting Winston-Salem. Our past is present, our future is bright, and our city is yours to explore. Look forward. Travel back to Winston-Salem.
Welcome back to Bowman Gray Stadium as we just saw Brandon Ward become the 11th different winner in the 2022 Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds here at the Madhouse. And as we mentioned earlier, it's been a while since we saw that many drivers go to victory lane. 12 was the number in 2017. And we still have a handful who are searching for their first win of the season as there are only a handful of races left to go. With the Fox 8 100 in the books, Tim Packman, we've got ourselves another sportsman race coming up here, and this has been one of the more entertaining groups to watch throughout the 2022 season. We mentioned race 1 was a little calm.
It was kind of tame.
Is this going to be the wild one?
I don't know. I mean, if it follows suit of last week or previous weeks, we'll see. But it's going to be interesting, and now that they know if they do tear them up, they have time to fix them for next week because they don't have a race right after this one like they did in the first one. Should we let the people know who's in these fine machines?
I think we shall. Let's kick off the starting grid. 18 cars scheduled to come down for the second 20-lapper for the McDowell Heating and Air Sportsman. Driver starting on the pole in the number 06, minus the hood there in the pole position. That's going to be Chase Lewis leading us down for green. On the outside, out of Mocksville, North Carolina, car 22, Wesley Thompson. Inside of row number 2, you'll find a Winston-Salem native in car number 08, Jacob Creed. And on the outside, 3-time winner looking for win number 4. Driving car number 2 out of Walkertown is Amber Lynn in 4th.
In the 5th position, the number 12 out of King, North Carolina, that is Justin Taylor. Outside him, a much better start than he had last time. And the number 81 out of Walkertown, North Carolina, that is Zach Clifton. In the 7th position, number 19, that is Michael Adams out of Yadkinville. And in the number 31, starting 8th out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that is Chase Robertson.
In the 9th starting position, this driver came up one spot shy of a podium in race 1 earlier tonight. Going to be looking for his second win of the season from 9th here this evening. Car number 07 is young Riley Neal. Outside, the driver who held off Riley to the checkered flag as we inverted the top 12. The number 92 of Kyle Southern is going to roll off in 10th position. Runner-up and current point leader Tommy Neal out of Walkertown, North Carolina, takes his number 21 from 11th spot. Outside, the driver trying to become the first double feature winner in the McDowell Heating and Air Sportsman Series in 5 years. Zach Orr, winner of race 1, going to roll off from the outside of row 6.
That'll be interesting, those 2 rows in front of this. In the 13th position, the number 54, that's Braden Mills out of Wahlberg, North Carolina. And the number 9, that's Tom Zachary starting 14th. And the number 7, that's Connor Branch starting 15th out of Louisville. The number 66, that'll be Kirk Sheets starting 16th. And rounding out your last row, the number 38 out of Thomasville, North Carolina, that is Mitch Gales with Terry Thompson in the 02 out of Lexington, rounding out your field.
It's been an unbelievable night here so far at Bowman Gray Stadium. Glad you're joining us here on Flow Racing. I cannot thank our entire production team for the hard work they do week in and week out. And I'm just keeping the seat warm for Matthew Dillner as he comes back from a business venture for this weekend. Hopefully he's watching along with those of you who have chosen to spend your Saturday night with us. And I think we're about to see some fender flaring action for the McDowell Heating and Air Sportsmen in their second race of the night.
Well, here we go. The lights are off on the pace truck. Here they go side by side through turns 3 and 4. The 06, Chase Lewis and Wesley Thompson will set the pace. Do we get the green? And we get a start. Well, single file style as they go through turns 1 and 2, down the back straightaway, still side by side for the top 3 rows right there.
This is about the most packed we've seen any start of the night so far, and they all make it through lap 1. The leader now is Chase Lewis with Wesley Thompson trying to move up that 06 car from the race lead. Jacob Creed runs in 3rd. Justin Taylor rides 4th.
Amber Lynn, we were watching her. She was left to the outside almost the first 8 laps last time. This time within 2 laps, she does get down to the low line, which is third. Oh, and we have a little bobble there for the battle for the lead. The 06 and the 22, and he turns him sideways. Oh, that'll bring out the caution. Your leader, the 06, Chase Lewis, gets looped around coming out of 4.
He'll pick our cone count up by 1 as he has one of those orange cones underneath the back end of his car. But yeah, the initial contact happened on the back straightaway, and it did not stop until they got to the 4th corner. And your pole sitter, Chase Lewis, who was trying to fend off Thompson for the race lead, ends up falling to the tail end of the pack by virtue of that spin from the top spot.
Yeah, that started going down the back straightaway and just got a little more heated as they went into 3 and 4, and we saw the result was with Lewis go off to mow the grass.
So Lewis will rejoin the field. Let's go back and see how it all unfolded. This is coming out of turn number 2. Thompson with a fender inside. They come together midway down the backstretch. And you see Lewis still up the racetrack, and Thompson just kind of grabs him there in that left rear tire and sends him through. Look at Zach Orr almost getting turned around in the aftermath. He brought a lot of dirt back up on the racetrack with him.
Right there, you see, I think when they go down, they're good here. There's the initial contact. 06 Lewis gets a little loose, and the 22 looks to take advantage of that. But right there, it looks like, does he go up into him or does he come down on him? No, I'm going to say he come down on him, the 06 a little bit.
I'm going to agree with you on that one, Tim. I know that debating is good for TV, right? But
Sure.
I think at that bit of a circumstance there, I'm pretty sure that was Chase Lewis doing everything he could to defend the top spot. It's something he would have had to do for another 17 laps, as this caution comes with 3 laps in the books. But it does, however, shake up our running order. So Wesley Thompson is the leader. Looks as though they did a quick check on Jacob Creed's car, who is in 4th position. As a matter of fact, they were getting Creed back to 4th. That was the reason why that car was slowed in turn 1 and 2. But I want to touch on something you mentioned in the starting lineup, Tim. Zach Clifton came into the night second in points. He ended up starting last in the first race, really didn't get himself up into race-winning contention, and right now he's running 3rd.
Which is definitely what he needs, and that'll get his points that he's looking for and his confidence as he goes out there, knowing now I just have to get by 2 guys and get more points, and he also has to maintain his position because right behind him, there's a guy that wants his spot as well.
He's got about 4 cars, make that 3 cars, between he and the point leader, Tommy Lynn, who is coming off a runner-up finish earlier tonight. So we're going to have to break out the calculators and put a final tablet on how the math will shake out. It was never my favorite subject in school, that's for sure.
Did you say math? I'm sorry. I don't know how to spell math.
So as they run, with cleanup concluding down in turn number 4, trying to get some of the cars to run through where some of that dirt was kicked up off the 4th corner, it is Thompson, Taylor, Clifton. Cars 22, 17, 81, your top 3. Then it's the 08 of Jacob Creed, who got slid back a spot there due to the timing of the yellow, as we are 1 lap away from the restart. And rounding out your top 5 is Riley Neal. Now, he started in 9th, so he's +4 on the grid already. And he had a very fast car in the first race. Let's see if he can keep working his way further forward as we're restarting single file.
So he had that great run earlier. Now he has very much less cars to pass to get up to the front like we saw in the first race. So now, with this starting single file, he's going to have to make his way up there, and he's got 4 cars in front of him. But let's keep an eye on, see if he can capitalize or build on what he did earlier.
So Wesley Thompson going to bring us back down for the restart. It will be 17 laps to go for the McDowell Heating and Air Sportsmen, their 2nd race of the night. And it is Thompson who is on the ready.
We have trouble in 3.
And there's a jam up at the back of the field that will bring out the caution yet again. Not sure what happened there.
I know what happened.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye, Tim. Looks like you had a better view than I did.
I was eagle-eyed on it because they were going down and down the back straightaway. When they got in there, Zach Orr took off. He went to the inside wheel hop, and there's Lewis in the 06. Boy, he's having a rough go after starting on the pole, leading a couple laps. But Zach Orr really got into him and leapt up in the air a little bit. And Lewis now is spun around as the track crew just gets the debris off the track right around him.
So Chase Lewis waiting to see if that car gets righted. There we're watching the number 54, Braden Mills, roll back up to his respective running position here. As the officials did count that lap according to the ticker here. And a reminder, no electronic timing and scoring here, so we oftentimes reflect off of the video board where they are manually upping the laps as drivers cross the start-finish line when green flag laps are counting in a race like this.
Well, when you're the oldest continuous short track in NASCAR, you go old school with the hand scoring.
Got to stay true to your roots at a place like this, and it's remarkable what the scoring officials are able to accomplish, especially just before we go on air when they have qualifying for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. It's quite the workmanship that all of the scorers have to put on in order to be able to make sure that they got the information as accurate as possible, and it's a pretty unique skill, which, again, just like math, not my forte.
You know what I like about math? Things never add up.
Oh, my goodness. 16 laps to go here when we do get the one-to-go signal. And no changes there amongst the front runners as things stand. It looks like, again, they're just trying to work in the track at that portion over in turn number 3 where Chase Lewis's car slid up the banking. And we did see him get a push back, and but what a heartbreaker. You end up leading the field to the green flag, and the next thing you know, 4 laps later, you're getting pushed back to the hauler for what may be a long week for some of these teams to get these cars race ready.
Hopefully it's nothing major, but now we're going to one more to go, I think, when they come around this time. We're looking for our starter to show the signal. Yep, he says 1 more to go. 1 to go. Lights will come off on the pace truck here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Tell you what, Eric, I like working with you. It's fun.
Oh, it's fun working with you as well, Tim. I love these opportunities. Hopefully we get to do not only a handful more of these, but a bunch more of these.
Sure.
Whether it be here at the Madhouse or anywhere, and we hope that all of you watching along on Flow Racing can join us. But we've still got 2 and a little more than a half races left on tonight's racing action. Again, there's that math. Wesley Thompson out in front right now over Justin Taylor in car 12. Then it's the 81 of Zach Clifton. Jacob Creed, Riley Neal, your top 5, 16 circuits remaining.
Let's see what happens this time, man. There we get a good start. Everyone makes it turns 3 and 4. Now they go off into 1 and 2. That 22 machine of Wesley Thompson's getting a little bit of a nudge in there. Number 12 with Justin Taylor.
Taylor, who has 1 win under his belt so far in 2022, always a favorite when it comes to competition in the Sportsman Series, trying to get his 2nd win of the year, and he came into the night 3rd in championship points, and he's got the runner-up in Zach Clifton behind him. Here's the fight for 4th. Riley Neal trying to be on the move.
Jacob Creed, he got a little loose coming out of turn number 2, but he had help from Riley there. And now Riley takes advantage, tries to get by him, and he does. Look at that, the 0-8 of Jacob Creed now falling backwards.
Yeah, Creed got shuffled, kicked out of what looked like a stock car Talladega draft as he got drop kicked to the tail end of this single file line, with Wesley Thompson doing an amazing job fending off Justin Taylor for now. Despite that car washing wide in the middle of the corner, Taylor has not had enough running room down low to get alongside as we inch closer to the halfway point.
As we talk about that, here comes Zach Clifton, number 81. He wants that 2nd position because he, like you said, he's looking for every point he can get after the earlier race. Didn't really suit what he wanted to do. And look at the 0-7 of Riley. Riley Neal, he's right in there too. That top 4, boy, they are single file style. And here comes Amber Lynn in the 5th place.
Neal running right where he came in the checkers in the last race. This race, a total opposite for Amber Lynn, who started on the front row, got kicked to the tail end of the pack after getting stuck up on the high side. She's worked her way back up into the top 5.
Look at this single file style for the top 7 positions. No one's really challenging right now, but we have 10 laps down in this feature.
And Tommy Neal looks as though he wants to try to gain some more points potentially. He knows the 81 is just up the road by a couple of spots. He's starting to sound the alarm there in the race for 5th, while Riley Neal has a look on Clifton there in turn 1. 9 laps to go as we just passed the halfway point. Wesley Thompson's doing a great job holding the lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, Neal right there, he is definitely wanting that position from Clifton. And as they get together there in the middle of the turns, and that brings them together. Oh, here we go. We got some contact. Oh, Taylor holds on to it. Clifton gave him a wrap, holds on to it, and Riley Neal takes advantage of that and picks up a position. And now he says, heck with that, I want 2nd place.
I think Taylor, while he was trying to save it, Clifton pedaled it to give him the opportunity to catch the car, and Riley Neal took advantage. Now they're all into each other off turn 2 as Neal got knocked sideways. Clifton back to the bottom, and he turns him. Major contact there as Clifton rides over the front nose of Riley Neal's car, and the front end of that 07 is destroyed.
Wow. Looked like a very simple spin, and now that car, like you said, look at that. Body parts are there. Oh my gosh, that is not what I would expect for that type of speed to go through there, but definitely huge contact was made, and the 54 got caught up in as well.
Braden Mills got turned there. In the aftermath, he's going to get his car righted. Boy, the leaf blowers have been busy tonight by this track crew. Riley Neal out of the car and okay, but obviously very dejected. The driver was one of the youngest to ever win here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Earlier this season, that win came very early in the year, as a matter of fact, all the way back in the 2nd race of 2022. And he's going to take some time to walk this one off and get back to the pit area. Also, you see some damage there to Tommy Neal's car as he drove by. And what will slow the field here with only a handful of laps still remaining.
Well, I give Neal credit. Riley Neal, he just kind of walked back to the pit area. Didn't make a challenge out there. Didn't approach a car. Give him credit for that. Here's the replay.
See Clifton there just to the inside, and wow, how about Amber Lynn there finding a way through? That team worked so hard to put that car back together after what happened last week, and that's incredible that she was able to slide through there while Clifton kind of ran up on the nose, quite literally, on the 07.
Watch right here. She actually gives Clifton a push. Looks like it makes it, goes right up into the 07. See, they get sideways right there. Then he's sideways right there, and she's getting pushed from behind by Tiger Tom Neal in there. That was just a chain reaction of what was going on in front of him. And the 31 goes mowing the lawn. And there goes the 92 as well. Kyle Southern, he goes through the grass.
And that's where that damage came on Tommy Neal's car. So he gained a couple of spots by virtue of the mishap in front of him. Watch the 21 on your screen. Going to kind of come in there and nose into Amber Lynn's car and kind of shoves her into the mess. Boy, Clifton's car there got the right side completely up off the ground as it used the front nose of Riley Neal's car as a little bit of a launching ramp.
A little more active than it was in the first feature, but we figured that was going to happen because, you're going to run double features, and you need to have your car good from the first one. Make the second one because you're like, oh yeah, it sucks if you don't, your car's all destroyed, you can't go get points.
So I think this is one of the first times we've seen the hook come out tonight as Riley Neal is going to be towed back off to the pit area. Want to take this opportunity to thank our amazing production staff, everybody involved with these races here that you are able to catch on Flow Racing, whether you're in the area, watching around the states. Our producer and director, Mark, always on his A-game. We love being able to work with him. Seth is in the house working on all the replay action we see. Up top, we got Zach Evans and Elgin Trailer manning the cameras. And, of course, I'm Eric Brennan alongside of Tim Packman. And I think Matthew Dillner is going to be back next week. But
I'll be joining him.
He already sent a couple of messages that he wishes he was here for sure. I think after he was out in the sun pretty much all day up in Pocono doing some work-related duties up there, he might be a little more tan than what you're accustomed to seeing when you guys share the booth next week.
Burnt?
So.
Yeah, nice.
At least he's got some time to recuperate in that manner. As the field continues to circulate under the caution flag here, as the officials are working on getting the field situated after the yellow flag came out.
Yeah, the track crew's out there in 3 and 4. It looks like there's a ton of fluid down there.
As cleanup continues there down in turn number 3 and 4, we also got to give one more shout out to one of the incredible and hardworking production members on our team, not located right here with us at the track, but playing a pivotal role back at what do we call it? Mission Command or
Let's
the
call
Central
it
Station?
NASCAR Control.
But Amy Boscher as well for all the work that she's doing in order to bring these broadcasts to all the people. And I mean, Tim, when I'm not here, when I'm not in this seat with this headset on, I'm watching.
Oh yeah, me too.
Doesn't matter if I'm home, doesn't matter if I'm on the road, doesn't matter if I'm with family, even though the wife may not appreciate that all that much. But I've got to keep tabs on what's happening here at the Madhouse because there's nothing like this. And the fact that Flow Racing and all the partners involved are able to bring this to the masses beyond the incredible crowd that we got. It was a hot day here in Winston-Salem, and the crowd turnout was exceptional. Last week was standing room only, and we even add more eyes onto the content and the product that we're able to deliver, and that's quite impressive.
So last week I went back to the Western New York area, went to my home track of Lancaster Speedway, or Lancaster Motorplex now, and a lot of people were talking. They're like, "Hey, that Bowman Gray, that Flow Racing, that like they're getting a chance to watch what's going on here." And they're up on it too because when there's some Saturday nights when there's stock car racing, they like watch it and they're like, "Man, those guys are insane." I go, "Well, it's called the Madhouse for a reason." But Bowman Gray is famous for action-packed racing, and so far tonight, I don't think we've disappointed.
I was actually talking to Amber Lynn earlier tonight about the environment that this place sets you up for. When you're out there and doing battle, you hear the crowd. You feel the crowd. You oftentimes don't get to experience those things in short track racing, but the way this place is built, the amount of people that come out here, pay their $12 at the gate. The old catchphrase is pretty much, I paid $12 to come for a show. I feel like I owe them money. I feel like I need to go back and give them more. And it creates this unique sense for the drivers themselves because they're like gladiators at that point. They feel the energy of the crowd. They know the role and responsibility they have to get the job done. And sometimes we see tempers boil over, but that's passion. And that's why we love this place. That's why Matthew Dillner loves this place. That's why they keep coming back. That's why people keep watching. So you cannot encapsulate this energy or this environment anywhere else.
So she was talking, her and her dad were talking that they put 16-hour days in between their regular job and working on the race car to get it ready for this weekend. And then you brought up a good point. You said, so all the stuff that gets posted and the different opinions, she looked right at us and remember she smiled. She goes, I don't read any of that.
Yeah.
So all you people that think you want to say something bad about it, it's going to affect her, she doesn't read it. She doesn't read it all. She's, I don't need to. I know what happened. And, she uses social media to promote what's going on, but she doesn't get engaged with the, how do you say this, the negativity or maybe the opinions of others that weren't involved.
The fluff.
The fluff.
The
That's
fluff.
a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, the fluff.
Well, and right now, things are going really good for Amber Lynn. She's up to third, which is a stark contrast. You see the reason for the extended caution there, by the way. There was a lot of fluid that came out of Riley Neal's number 07, and it was pretty evident. They might have ripped the air cleaner clear off that car, the way that 81 climbed up on it. But the good news is we are one lap away from getting back underway. There you see the running order, as we are going to be single file for this restart. Wesley Thompson ahead of Justin Taylor in the 12, Amber Lynn in the 2, and Tommy Neal with the nose damage in 4th, with 6 laps to settle it for the final McDowell Heating and Air Sportsman race of the night.
Let's see if anyone lays back or when they get right up there on nose to tail, because it is a single file restart as they slowly roll through turns 3 and 4.
Wesley Thompson back on the gas. Justin Taylor right in tow. Taylor into the back of Thompson. Nearly shoves him up into the wall. Taylor to the lead.
He shoves him out of the way, that's for sure. And look who's going to take advantage to the high side as he's stuck up there. It's Amber Lynn now going in for second. A new leader as they come out of turn 4.
Lynn now moving to the bottom, getting a shove through to the inside of Thompson by Tommy Neal. Move Amber Lynn the second. Taylor the front runner. Tommy Neal trying to get back up to the runner-up spot, and he's got to run off too.
He gets to the inside of Amber Lynn as they go into turn 3 and 4. Side by side, rim to rim they go. Sheet metal shimmy as they go, come out of turn 4. And look at this, Amber Lynn's going to go from second, possibly to 4th. She's once again caught to the outside. Kyle Southern gets beside her, and he looks to take the position away.
You're right, Tim. That top lane has been a death sentence for Amber Lynn tonight. Unfortunately, she's trapped up there, going to fall out of the top 5 as Clifton hip checks his way by. Michael Adams is going to follow, and there's Wesley Thompson. He went from the lead back to the bottom portion of the top 10 after Taylor was able to muscle his way by. Tommy Neal wants the lead.
Yes, he certainly does as they go single file in front of us here in the booth. And it's theirs. Thompson out in front. 12 of Thomas, he's out there. And the battle is going on with these guys.
And the first time we've called Chase Robertson's name here up into the mix as well. Running in third as the white flag's in the air.
Look at this battle. Now they go. Neal's going to go to the outside. Does he have enough to go to the outside? He might lose second if he does get stuck up there.
Taylor protects the bottom. He does it again. Neal sends it in on the top side. Here they come off the final corner. Drag racing to the checkered flag. Taylor by a nose in the most thrilling finish of the season.
Holy crow. That was amazing.
How in the world did Tommy Neal have a shot coming off the 4th quarter? And it was literally inches that gives Justin Taylor his second win of the year.
What a finish. What a race. Good God. Tommy Neal, what a run he made on the outside there. Shoo. The fans are going crazy here.
My, oh my. That was the best charge to the finish that we've had so far this season across any division. And it is Justin Taylor, a driver who normally finds himself in Carolina Wood Floor's victory lane many a times in his Bowman Gray racing career. It'll be the second time for him this season. Good points night for him. He held off the points leader coming into the night's event and finishing ahead of Tommy Neal, albeit by the narrowest of margins. It's going to help him try to climb up the championship point standings with just 4 races left.
Do you think Justin Taylor, as he's coming out of 4, looked over and goes, what's he doing there?
Well, Taylor's going to stop and celebrate with friends and family who are out there supporting him in turn number 2. Out and on top of the car. A well-deserved bow for Justin Taylor in what was a thriller at the Madhouse. Let's see how that charge to the checkers looked him coming out of 4.
So Neal goes to the outside. It looks like he doesn't have anything there. All of a sudden, with that damaged front, look at this. Side by side, they are doing the battle. And what a... Wow, that was inches. That was just inches. I swear that was inches.
I recall a stadium stock race here. I think it was back in 2019 when Tyler McDonald won in a 4-wide finish through the grass. I think this is second to the most recent and insane. Stat guy's giving me a thumbs up on that one.
We got to see this again.
I mean, heads up by Tommy Neal. He got right on the right rear tire of Justin Taylor's car to try to bog him down, and it almost worked.
Look at this, frame by frame by frame. What a finish. Congrats to both of them.
I love the old school tendencies of the Madhouse with no electronic timing and scoring, but I bet that would have been in the 1,000th of a second margin between first and second. And Taylor needs a push to get over to Carolina Wood Floor's victory lane after that one. I bet the stop with the fans was worth it there on the back straightaway.
Well, sure is. When you're going to do something like that and you stop and acknowledge your fans, he got out, he put his, like he was listening, and then he did a bow and he came over. But, you know, you make that connection with your fans. And Taylor gets his 7th career Sportsman win with this trip to Victory Lane here, his 7th one.
The fans acknowledging Justin Taylor as he pulls into Victory Lane. And now that that car has come to a safe stop, we will unleash the floodgates and we will go down trackside to Randy Pulliam, who will be with our winner in what was a Sportsman thriller.
Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Taylor picks up his 2nd win of the season. Justin, we spoke earlier tonight. I'm sure this visit with me is much sweeter than the first time we spoke tonight, when you got the losses of John Barrow Race to Your Defense Award from trouble you had last week. You were in 3rd in the points. I know you said it wasn't really important to you right now, but the fact of the matter is, you came in 3rd. This is your 2nd win. What do you have to say about that?
I don't know how in the hell I did that, because with 3 laps to go, it wouldn't run. I know all y'all talking about I rode the bottom and blocked, but if you don't like that, I come to win trophies. I don't really care. Moral of the story, I want to thank US Unlimited Services. Matter of fact, it's Joey's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, baby. This was for you. Kevin's SaysYes.com, Jeff Burton's Used Classic Cars, Wade Interiors, Serve Pro, Taylor Enterprise, and all Jughead Bar and Pints. And I want to wish my little sister a happy 14th birthday. I waited all day to tell her yesterday, but happy birthday, baby. I want to thank my dad. My little brother's at the beach, but he rebuilt this car by himself by Wednesday. He's a badass, and I'm glad he's on my side.
Justin Taylor makes his way over to the Carolina Wood Floor Winner's Circle.
Justin Taylor was more fired up than we were about that finish. What a race, and we're not done yet. We've got 2 Q104.1 Stadium Stock races up next here on Flow Racing. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is a city with a rich history of reinventing itself. Here you can wine and dine back in time, or raise a glass to the future. Witness history in the making, or savor the present moment. That's why you'll love visiting Winston-Salem. Our past is present, our future is bright, and our city is yours to explore. Look forward. Travel back to Winston-Salem.
It's DJ Dean. Starting 12th from Lexington, number 48, it's Junior Smith. Starting 11th from North Wilkesboro, number 41, it's Terry Torrance. Starting 10th from Moxville, number 71, it's James Allison. Starting 9th from Jerrington, number 28, it's Robert Mays. Starting 8th from Yadkinville, number 59, it's Isaac Harris. Starting 7th from Poptown, number 40, last week's winner, it's Kenny Dixon. Starting 6th from Winston-Salem, number 6, it's Dale Patterson. Starting 5th from Moxville, number 7, it's Joel Stewart. Starting 4th from Lexington, number 17, it's Andy Southern. Starting 3rd from Salisbury, number 78, it's Billy Cameron Jr. Now your front row, starting 2nd on the outside, number 76, it's Grayson Keaton. And on the pole from Moxville, number 8, it's Steven Sanders. That's your starting lineup for the first of 2 15-lappers for the Q1041 Stadium Stock Series.
Back at Bowman Gray Stadium here live on Flow Racing, where we are getting set for the Q104.1 Stadium Stocks. We've got 2 races on the agenda. A lot of the heavy hitters in the championship point standings will be out in race number 2. But Tim Packman, we've got about 13 drivers who are going to be searching for their first win of the season. And looks as though that they have made their way out on the racetrack. One of the drivers in this field picked up his first win last week in Kenny Dixon. But it looks as though they've rolled these cars out. They're going to save the championship contenders for last on the night. But we will have yet another stadium stock winner out of this field.
Well, let's find out who it's going to be. Here's your lineup, starting on the pole position. Out of Mocksville, North Carolina, that's Steven Sanders. In the number 76, that's Grayson Keaton going to be in that one. And the number 78, starting third, that's Billy Cameron out of Salisbury, North Carolina. From Lexington, North Carolina, the number 17, that's Andy Southern.
The number 7 of Joel Stewart, also out of Mocksville, North Carolina, going to line up inside row number 3 and 5th spot. Outside in car number 6, starting in P6, will be Dale Patterson out of Winston-Salem. Kenny Dixon, we just mentioned, trying to go back-to-back in terms of stadium stock race victories. Got his first win of the season last week out of Poptown, North Carolina. He'll line up car 40 in the 7th spot. Outside is going to be the number 59 of Isaac Harris out of Yadkinville in 8th.
Starting 9th from Germantown, North Carolina, the number 28 of Robert Mabe, and the number 71, James Allison out of Mocksville, North Carolina. The number 41, starting 11th, that's Terry Torrance from North Wilkesboro. From Lexington, North Carolina, the number 48, Junior Smith, starting 12th. And rounding out your field, the number 33, DJ Dean out of Thomasville, North Carolina, a rookie driver.
You see that number 71 on your screen there momentarily. I cannot look at that car without hearing Matthew Dillner in my head yelling Pintang when Chris Allison took that car to victory lane. I believe it was last season that you were able to see here live on Flow Racing. James Allison of the car here tonight. That's one of the more unique-looking vehicles you will find in the stadium stock field. As Justin Mincy mentioned, it's a Pinto body on a Mustang chassis. Let's see what it can do from 10th spot as we're a lap away from the green.
You gotta love creativity in racing.
It's awesome.
Hey, let's build this. Okay, let's race it. You got it. These guys are always exciting, putting on action-packed racing here, and there's no doubt they're going to do this again tonight as they're lined up side by side. Sanders and Keaton are going to show the way.
Here we go. Our second to last event of the night. First for the Q104.1 Stadium Stocks. J.B. Cole with the green flag in the air, and a great launch on the outside by Keaton, who cements the lead in the first corner.
He certainly does launch off to a start there. The number 8's getting roughed up already of Steven Sanders. He's going to feast falling backwards really fast as the top 3 guys go right by him.
Billy Cameron going to move up in the 3rd spot. Sanders almost got sent to the infield as they came out of 4. Got a big boot from behind by Isaac Harris, and a big crash in turn 1.
Wow, we got guys driving up over each other. Looks like the number 7 slowed right down there. Joel Stewart out of Mocksville, and someone got into him, and then the other cars followed suit. And it looks like the you can see right there in the camera the number 6 car. We talked about him, Dale Patterson, and he drives off, but not so much for the other ones.
Patterson had Robert Mabe right on the window net of that car, and Kenny Dixon. We talked about him picking up a stadium stock win last week, and now look at the front end of what was once a beautiful race car.
I think he picked up another race car this time around.
Oh, we mentioned this with Jeremy Gerstner with the modified race. The thrill of victory and agony of defeat for both of those drivers in the last 2-week span, and let's see how it all unfolded here down in turn 1.
So the 7 gets off. He comes to a stop almost, and the others pile up. Look at this. Goes up over the 6. He's like, what the heck just happened? But he's able to drive his car off. The number 28 of Robert Mabe went right up and over him.
I thought the Monster Truck Show was last week here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Looks like Robert Mabe was trying to join in some of the aerial fun. That was a mega hit for Dixon. That's one he's going to feel tomorrow morning as well. And somehow the back end of Joel Stewart's car seemed to survive it pretty well.
And he drives off, as does Mabe in the number 28.
Looks like there may have been a left rear tire down on the 6 of Dale Patterson, who came to a stop there. That car was knocked all askew after it got climbed over. And just like that, we're going to go back racing. Grayson Keaton out in front of the new second-place runner, Andy Southern, as we're about to get back underway here. Only 13 to go.
And they're beating and banging on each other now, second, third. And the 17 did not fire off of Andy Southern quite as fast as the leader did. And the number 76, the 78, went up there and gave him a shot. And now he's trying to get by him as they go into 3 and 4.
Grayson Keaton is a name that we've seen at Victory Lane and Stadium Stocks many a times before. Running a part-time schedule this year, has 1 win under his belt already. Billy Cameron's trying to make it a team car 1 and 2, and things are starting to get a little bit physical between he and Andy Southern, with the number 59 of Isaac Harris arriving on the scene in the battle for second.
There you go, second, third, and fourth. They're battling it out right there. And your leader is Keaton. He's pretty much just trying to get as far away as possible. So second, third, and fourth, right there doing battle. No contact right there, no pressure. Let's see what happens. They go into turns 3 and 4, though.
This continues to be the fight for second, third, and fourth. The 17 of Southern ahead of the number 78. As we have 10 laps to go here, they come to the line, and it looked as though that perhaps Cameron was going to have a look down low. Couldn't make it happen. Harris has fallen about a car length off this battle as it continues with a little bit of bumper tag.
He tries to get the 17 sideways there of Andy Southern. He did just a little bit, but not enough, and here comes the 59. And he's right there, Isaac Harris, waiting to see if he can take advantage of the two cars in front of him do get together and come around.
As things tighten up here, Harris may be able to try to force his way through both of them should the opportunity present itself, as they have a long way back to the driver who is currently riding in fifth in what would be James Allison in the pin tank. So the race for second comes off the corner. Your leader's in heavy lap traffic, and he gets tagged.
He gets tagged. Oh, my gosh. And look at this. He gets tagged, and he goes around. I think he might have a flat tire or something because he is way off the pace and slowing down. And your new leader, number 17.
Andy Southern to the point, flat right rear tire on the number 76 car of Grayson Keaton, and he comes to a stop, and he's not happy.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that right rear is done. I mean, that's off of there. But I think when he made contact there with the number 41 of Terry Torrance, and that's what caused the flat and for him to lose the lead. Wow. Lap traffic playing a factor here.
Well, just when I think they were starting to write Grayson Keaton's name on the winner's check, it was lap traffic who ended up playing a factor. Over my shoulder, our stat man Justin Mincy reacted, and as soon as we looked up, we ended up seeing that car sideways. Southern got the lead, and Keaton there obviously was unhappy with how that bit of mishap ensued, and he expressed his displeasure with Terry Torrance in turns 1 and 2 under yellow.
He kind of took Torrance up there in turns 1 and 2 to like, hey, I'm going up high and you're going with me. And I'm going to, like, he's trying to get around him, and he's like, oh, I'm going to back into you now.
The question now becomes, is there more than just tire damage? And it looks like Keaton's not going to have that much of a chance to get back out here, as we're going green next time through, and we have not seen that car come back out on the racetrack. It'll be a 6-lap sprint for the first Q104.1 Stadium Stock race of the night. Andy Southern is the new leader, ahead of Billy Cameron in second.
Andy Southern, if you check out the left rear quarter panel there, that has a little bit of damage on it. I think it's going to get a little bit more if the number 78 has his way. Let's see what happens here.
Green flag is up. Southern tries to protect the bottom. Cameron gives him a shot as they come through 1 and 2. Harris on the scene, and if all three of them end up in a smoking pile, the pin tank can steal this one from fourth.
Here we go, 1, 2, and 3. Follow the leaders. They come out of there. The 17 is Southern with 5 laps to go. He still has his rear bumper filled with the number 78 of Billy Cameron.
Oh, Southern got sideways off of 2. Cameron tried to get to the inside, and Southern slammed the door shut.
Yep, that left rear quarter panel is taking more abuse. Now he's going to go to the outside, but he runs him to the outside. He shuts that option down for him. I'm telling you what, some good driving as the caution flag comes out.
And the caution is out for an incident on the back straightaway. And I think we may know how this one started. That is Terry Torrance, who has gone around. And he may have had some help from Grayson Keaton.
We're going to see how the... oh, wait a minute. Is he done with him yet? Oh, he's going to let him sit there sideways.
It's like Keaton is patiently waiting for Torrance to get this car righted here after they came back out on the racetrack. Keaton goes by there, leaving the scene of the crime, if you will.
I was just going to say, he just wanted to stop and stare at him sitting sideways. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Coming through.
And this yellow with 4 to go is going to disrupt what was a pretty hot and heavy battle for the lead.
Well, with 4 to go, this is definitely going to get even better and hotter because now they have 4 laps to go, and whatever they have left in the car, they're gonna find it right here because someone's going to win this thing. But I'm telling you that Southern in the 17, that left rear quarter panel is getting more crunched up with every lap.
Well, if you're a longtime racing fan, especially on the day here, as we are going to see 1 to go this time by, and you're into this style of racing or modified racing, you'll recognize the color scheme on Billy Cameron's car, also Grayson Keaton as well. That is the colors of the late John Blewett III when he would run an asphalt modified. His brother Jimmy Blewett would maintain that tradition, running that paint scheme several times. But Billy Cameron is from that region. He's up from New Jersey, where the Blewetts cut their teeth in motorsports, and he has continued to pay tribute to his late friend after he was involved with that team for so many years, and he has always entered and adorned his race cars with that look. not very often has the opportunity presented itself for him to go to victory lane. As you see the caution being extended here after James Allison's car has stalled, coming back off the pit lane in the pin tank. But nevertheless, there's a lot of motivation for Billy Cameron to try to find victory lane, and we'll see if he'll be able to get up to and around Andy Southern in these waning laps.
So the pin tank, he's waving to his fans like, yeah, no, he's waving to the guy, keep pushing, keep pushing.
There were T-shirts made after that win. I remember seeing them somewhere.
Of course there was.
But that is a fan favorite car, and that is a fan favorite call from our buddy Matthew Dillner on that night. I will never forget that finish, and I'm sure that it lives on in the Flow Racing archives if people want to go back and check on them. But my goodness, we love seeing that car out there. Boy, Andy Southern wants to go.
Look at this.
And Cameron is with him, so this restart is going to stand, and we're back underway.
Yeah, that restart was like, boom, I didn't see it coming. I was watching push off the 71. But here we go down the back straightaway. The 17 is Southern, still holding off the 78 of Billy Cameron. But he's, oh, wait, he tags him there and gets him loose. Not enough to get by him, though. But he tries it again right here.
2 laps to go, and Cameron is showing he's willing to do whatever it takes to get up to and around Southern for the race lead, with Harris closing from 3rd.
Look at this, the 59. He's right in the catbird seat. Here we go. Now he's going to push him up through there. He's going to help him out.
They lock together at the white flag,
Oh,
and
here we
Cameron
go. He
crashes
tags him.
on the main straightaway. Caution flag will fly after Cameron got together with Southern and spun right into the driver's door of Isaac Harris.
And the fans, if you're not feeling bad enough, it's always good to have the fans lean over and wave to you with one finger, because what just happened? Oh, this is not going to go well.
Here we go. Cameron is not happy.
go.
Southern trying to run for cover.
Uh-oh,
it's a repeat of last week, potentially, as Southern goes through the grass.
It's Bobby Allison and Curtis Turner all over again here at Bowman Gray. Right in the infield. Now he's right behind him.
Oh,
wow,
Cameron
that's the fastest he's gone all night.
drives Southern around in
look at
turn
that.
4.
Messed that car up big time. Yep, now he's going to go off. He's like, I did what I wanted. I'm off.
That was a high-speed bit of payback here, as Cameron is going to go to the pit area with a lot of body work dragging off the front end of that machine.
I think that's Taylor's, part of Taylor's car, isn't it? Or Southern's car, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. We've just been informed of his own front bumper. My apologies. The way it looked, it was kind of like, wow, he took that home a souvenir from the other guy.
So Southern is going to go back up to the race lead.
Right.
Isaac Harris's car, despite taking that hit on the left side, it doesn't appear there's all that much damage there on the 59. He'll re-rack in 2nd, and perhaps one of the fastest cars in the fields is going to be Grayson Keaton back up to 3rd after he had the contact with the lap car earlier.
So there you go. Here comes the team car. If he can have an effect on this, he's certainly going to do it. So if I'm Andy Southern, I'm trying to go as fast as I can to get away. Here's the replay.
See how this all went down. This was coming to the white flag. You see Cameron getting Southern up off the bottom, goes through the grass with the left side wheel. Southern tries to pinch him off, and it was Cameron who spins and spears the 59 in the aftermath.
And the 59, he contributed that as well, because he kind of pushed him through turns 3 and 4 and caught. Watch right here. Here comes the 59. Isaac Harris. He goes up. He pushes him up through there. He pushes him, tries to push him past Southern, and there he goes side by side, and then he catches him right there coming out at 4, and then the mayhem begins. He gets sideways, and he catches the 59, so the 59 ended up paying the price for his own antics in turns 3 and 4.
I think he hit that 59 perfectly in the door without any fender rubs on his left side tires. The last restart, Andy Southern went right about here, it felt like.
Right.
He got on the gas really, really early. Let's see what happens this time through as the pace car pulls to safety. It's going to be a sprint to the finish. And it is Southern ready to go. Green and white comes out together. 1 lap to settle it.
If I'm Andy Southern, I'm driving like I stole this thing and I got the whole world behind me, because he certainly does, but he's doing everything he can to distance himself from the cars behind him.
It's going to be the biggest bit of breathing room he's had all race long. Harris with a last turn charge to the checkered flag. Andy Southern wins the first Q104.1 Stadium Stock race of the night.
I can't wait to hear this victory late.
And right away, he pulls through the grass to celebrate in the infield. Not sure that's going to be celebrated by the track crew here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Or the football field, guys.
And we see here after the race as well, Grayson Keaton finding Terry Torrance once more on the back straightaway, while Southern burns down the house in the infield.
Leaves his mark. What do these football players get out there? Hey, man, there's a car park here. What's this from?
Well, it may have taken a while, but we've got tempers flaring here for the stadium stock so far tonight. Here on the backstretch, you're seeing Grayson Keaton follow Terry Torrance back into the pit area. Not sure these two have done.
No, they're not
finished
done yet.
up
There
their
we go.
discussions.
Nope, he's going to make it difficult for him.
And
And who's right there? They see the police. Oh, he's going to get out and leave it right there. And the cops are shining the light at him like, hey, man, get going. He's going to leave his car right there. What's he yelling at the cops for?
So
Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
We've got Keaton expressing his displeasure there in turn 3. We've got Southern doing donuts down in turn number 1. Keep in mind, Southern was able to go to victory lane after a fierce fight with Grayson Keaton's teammate, Billy Cameron Jr. It's as though Grayson's going to get back in the car here. While Southern goes to victory lane. It may have taken a few races, but this is what the people came for.
What makes you want to get out and take on an officer of the law? Right, really, get back in your car.
Wow. So you can see the excitement from the family, team,
Oh, yeah.
friends, Southern, courtesy of our stat guy. 3rd career win, first since 2014. Let's hear from him.
Andy Southern unstrapping, getting ready to climb out of the machine. Getting congratulations from his mom, Gina Southern, longtime racer here at the Madhouse. Getting a drink of ice cold water. Andy Southern picks up the win in the first 15-lapper for the Q1041 Stadium Stock Series. Andy, tell us about the contact with Billy Cameron. Tell us about how you held him off, and then tell us about the hold-off of Isaac Harris also.
Man, we're racing for the win. Hey, I blocked him. We racing for the win at the stadium. Less than 5 to go, but it is what it is. He chased me around, but I'd like to dedicate this to a buddy of mine, Nick Wall. He's at home hurt. He'll be back, and it is what it is. I got chased under caution. Hopefully they get that under control, but it is what it is. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, Nuco Motors, Studio 17, my whole crew, my stepdad, he's worked his butt off on the motors all year. Everybody, Jones, Nick, Corey, my wife, my kids, they're with me through the weekend of shopping. Without them, I couldn't do it.
Andy Southern picks up the win in the first of two 15-lappers for the Q1041 Stadium Stock Series.
Wow. Hard to believe, Tim. We got one more.
Oh boy. Only just one more, that's it?
Oh, how do we top that one? Well, I think
We're going to do it right here.
I think we're going to start by setting the stage. When the season began for the stadium stocks, I think everybody pretty much had their eyes on AJ Sanders. We talked at great length about the championship points battle in the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. But the Q104.1 stadium stocks have got themselves quite the situation brewing amongst the top two. Just 4 points separate AJ Sanders, who's racked up 5 wins already this season, and Brandon Brendel, who's been on fire and has won yet another race. In fact, 3 in a row for Brendel to bring his win total up to 5 as well. So they're separated by a narrow margin in terms of the championship standings. And of course, they're going to be starting nose to tail in this race. So we might see a little bit more excitement.
Let's give him that starting lap. What do you say?
I'm ready for it.
Here we go. Starting on the pole, the yellow. Can't miss that from a million miles away. The number 03 out of Lexington, North Carolina. That is Cody Gum. Outside of him, from Tobaccoville, North Carolina, that is the 51, Andrew Cates. Second row inside, the number 54, that's Justin Owens. He resides in Walnut Cove, North Carolina. And to his outside, the number 31, Kyler Staley out of Lexington.
Inside of row number 3 is where you're going to find our points leader by 4 markers. 5-time winner trying to match one of his win total records in his personal driving career here at the Madhouse. Out of Moxville, North Carolina, A.J. Sanders in car 24. Outside, the number 16 out of Lexington, North Carolina. That will be Blaine Curry rolling off in 6th. Brandon Brendel, can anybody stop the number 43 as he searches for his 4th victory in a row to try to take over the stadium stock point lead? He'll drive car 43 from 7th starting position when we come to green tonight. Outside, out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, car number 05 is Victor Flores.
And we'll round out the rest of the field here for you. Starting 9th, the number 27, Austin Cates out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina. Outside of him, the number 10 in the 10th position, the number 99 of Brandon Kratz out of King, North Carolina. Starting 11th, the number 46 out of Moxville, Wyatt Sapp, and the number 14 of Ken Bridges from King, North Carolina will start 12th. And your final row in the 13th starting position out of Kernersville, North Carolina, that's number 25 of Matt Goodwin. And from Lexington, North Carolina, the number 81 in the 14th and final spot, that is Chuck Ball.
So this field is stacked with firepower in terms of drivers capable of going to victory lane. So far this season, we've had 6, now 7 different winners in the stadium stock ranks after we mentioned Brendel, Sanders kind of hogging up some of the victories to themselves. Also, Tyler McDonald went on a bit of a run before he had other commitments to attend to that took him out of the race car for quite some time. And we've got the championship points battle to keep our eye on here with what will be our final 15 go-arounds here in the quarter-mile oval tonight.
Let's see what excitement awaits for our viewers and us here. And the 43 is also Brandon Brendel stopped on the backstretch. Oh, here he goes. He fires it up, gets going again. Well, that was a little disturbing there, but he's got it going. He's going to take his starting position of 7th. Yeah, that's what A.J. Sanders won.
So after what was a thrilling Q104.1 stadium stock race just a moment ago in the first event of these, what happens is this class gets so popular, they end up splitting the races when the car counts exceed a certain total. And with that in mind, when we get to the latter portion of the season, we keep a lot of the top front runners in points in a race of their own. That way they can settle it amongst themselves. And as we've already proven many a times, it creates great entertainment. And we are one lap away from our last green flag of the evening.
Well, it makes sense. If you have 26 cars out here, I mean, the guys that's running back there and 20th on back, he knows that he doesn't have a day where he could probably win. But doing this, you give an opportunity to have more winners, and it keeps the interest in there. And by the way, we get 2 features out of it, so I think that's pretty darn groovy.
I'll take that all day, every day, especially with these cars, especially with this tight championship battle. Cody Gum and Andrew Cates on the front row. The pace car heads to safety, and for the final time tonight, we will see the green flag for the Q04.1 stadium stocks, and we're green.
And we got a legit start there. It's Andrew Cates in the 51. He jumps out. Oh, he gets a little bump there from Gum in the 03. Don't mistake that little yellow car for being underpowered. Now he's going to get right up on the 51 Andrew Cates. But no, the 54 rides over the top of him. Look at this mayhem. Brendel almost spins, and they come to a stop in turn number 4.
Brendel sliding through the grass. He's taken out a couple of cones in the process, but 3 cars are jammed up here in turn number 4. Looked as though that Justin Owens was trying to join in some of the acrobatic fun we've seen already here tonight as he jumped over the left front of Cody Gum's car, and those two were pretty much married together there at the pit exit.
So you collected right there first on the starting grid. It was 1st, 3rd, and 4th all got collected right there. That'll jumble up the running order.
Looks as though Owens able to leave the scene. Let's take a look at what happened. Right over the left rear, and then almost over the left front was Owens. And I believe that's the 31 potentially.
Yes, Kyler Staley got caught up in it and no place to go. He was like, I ain't going to run into you. But those two got hooked together, Justin Owens and Cody Gum. See, right there, they lock together. Then the wheels, he runs up over him. Now you see the left front, his right front and his left front are of the 2 cars are locked together, and they almost go up in the wall together.
You saw sliding out of your frame on the right-hand side the number 43 of Brandon Brendel, who, as we said, has been the hottest Q104.1 stadium stock driver. We watched this kind of work their way off the corner. There's Brendel sliding his way through into the pit area.
He misses out. He got a cone. That's all right.
So there's Brendel on your screen. We mentioned the fact he's going for 4 wins in a row, courtesy of Justin Mincy, our stat man. The last driver to win 4 races in a row was a driver he's battling in the championship points, A.J. Sanders. That was back in 2017. The all-time record is Dean Ward, who had 9 wins in a row all the way back in 1990. But Brendel still got some problems.
He's got a cone. He captured a cone. He stole a cone. It's under his car. And they're going to have to stop him to pull that out of there. You can't be racing with it. Now he's going to try to get rid of it. Trying to get rid of it in the infield. Just pull up to an official. They'll get that for you.
Now, keep in mind, these stadium stock drivers do have spotters, so they're being alerted to tell Brandon, hey, you've got a cone underneath you. They're going to want you to either find a way to get it dislodged from underneath your race car, or they may send us to the pit area. This could be a huge implication for Brendel and his championship hopes, and as you can see, it's still there right underneath the side skirt.
And I'm sure that's making a heck of a noise inside the car as he goes around dragging it around there.
As our director, producer Mark points out, that can't smell very good
I'm
as well.
sure that plastic getting all just myrtleized in the rubber there. Now let's see what they're going to do with that.
Especially underneath the hot exhaust. And it looks like they did point Brendel off into the pit area.
Wow, what a nuts reason to pit.
We'll see if he does, in fact, make that right-handed turn. As we only have one lap complete, so 14 laps to go. Brendel is going to stay out. I kind of like the strategy a little bit of running over what's left of those curves there on the inside of the racetrack. You know, do whatever you can to try to get that cone out of there.
Well, we have an official down in the front stretch, and I think he's going to get a little help here. The cone, more of it's coming out, but that thing's logged in there pretty good. What's he going to do? He's going to try to stop him. He wanted to stop him.
They may also be trying to sort out the running order of the drivers who would be now in 4th and 5th. It looks as though that Blaine Curry is getting sent back a few positions, with Brandon Krotz moving up into 4th, and the number 46 of Wyatt Sapp will inherit the top 5.
So is the cone debris right now, or is it just kind of a illegal part on the car? What would you consider the cone?
It might be an accessory at this point. I don't think he has much of a choice.
I think he's trying to do that again if he's going to go off again. He had a good idea there, going off and running over the drain part to try to get it, dislodge it there. He's like, come here, come here. He's waving someone over, help me out. They're like, nope, nope, keep going. Oh, this is, boy, never lacking for humor entertainment. You gotta love Bowman Gray.
I recall a time in one of the big league stock car races, we're going to see one to go, so I think Brendel's going to be able to stick this one out, perhaps. Wow. I remember Kyle Busch had a fender hanging off in a truck race at Martinsville, and he drove that thing clear into the wall, trying to get it to completely fall off. It didn't work for him, but for Brendel, he may in fact be able to compete with that cone underneath that car. They have not called him to the pit area. His closest driver in points is just in front of him, and oh, by the way, Andrew Cates leads this race.
Oh, by the way, that's right. He started second on that, so we mentioned 1st, 3rd, and the 4th starting positions are now all the way to the back. Here we go. The green flag's going to fly. We're going to restart this. Bowman Gray Stadium Racing Style. A.J. Sanders, he is looking to make the move, and he does. Look at that. Takes the lead away right there. Here comes Brendel following right behind.
Top 2 in points are now top 2 in the race as they've got Andrew Cates back to 3rd, maybe further back. Here comes Wyatt Sapp to the inside. Cates trapped way up out in the dirty stuff off 4, and it is A.J. Sanders to the lead.
I don't see the cone anymore under Brendel's car, so it had to end up somewhere. We'll find out soon enough. But look at this. The battle's on between 1st and 2nd year point leaders.
Further back, it's a battle of the Cates right now. Andrew Cates in the 51, Austin Cates in the 27, just behind, and Blaine Curry, who started 6th, got shuffled out in the early contact that took place on the opening go-around, while the leaders start to tighten things up.
Those will be 4 laps in the books right here, so 11 to go right now. Here we have a spin coming off of turn 3 and 4. That's number 27. Austin Cates goes around, brings out the caution.
We were just talking about Austin Cates trying to get up to and past Andrew Cates in a fight position up in the top 5. Looks as though that car has spun in turns 3 and 4. It will slow the field yet again in this race, with Sanders still leading Brendel as they currently run 1 and 2. And it looks like there was a cone that got kicked out on the main straightaway. Let's go back to what happened, though, to Austin Cates to put us under yellow.
Looks like he got a slight tap right there, just enough to spin him around right there and bring out the caution.
The amount of momentum that these stadium stocks are carrying around this racetrack, the slightest nudge going into the corner, although that time, as we look at it here in slow-mo, it looks like there's some separation between the back bumper of that machine, and I believe that's Blaine Curry in the 16.
Correct.
I was pretty close there, unless he got into him a little bit further back, but that slow-mo definitely showed some breathing room between those two.
All right, here we go. Here comes, we're looking for the green flag to restart this race. 5 down, 10 to go. A.J. Sanders shows the way. Brendel right in 2nd. And they go launching off here into turns 1 and 2. Brendel now looking to make a move to the inside of A.J. Sanders.
A great drive that time off the corner by Brendel. Both of these drivers, A.J. Sanders, Brandon Brendel, each looking for their 6th win of the season. If A.J. Sanders could do that, that would tie his all-time win in a single season, his personal best. He's done it 3 times before. Looking to see if he can do it once more here. It would be the first time since 2015 that he's won that many races. But the hottest driver in the stadium stocks is applying a lot of pressure from behind.
In the number 99, Brandon Krotz, he started 10th. He is now up there in the 3rd position. And right behind him is Wyatt Sapp, who started 11th. So some guys that started at the back are now up in the front by virtue of incidents that took place in front of them.
Seeing some heavy racing going on throughout the pack, but this is the fight for the lead and potentially for the points lead. If Brendel could get up and by Sanders, or at least he wants to keep himself within striking distance, Brandon Krotz may be in the catbird seat running in 3rd, a ways back these front 2, while Wyatt Sapp starts to close up on him. They come to the line here. It will be 5 to go next time by.
Look at this. A.J. Sanders has a whole rear view mirror full of Brendel as they go down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Brendel's looking to make his move. They're going to encounter lap traffic here. Let's see if they make quick work of them, and they do as they head off into turns 1 and 2.
Victor Flores yields to the leaders as they get by cleanly with now 4.5 laps to go. And there's the battle for 3rd on the right-hand side of your picture. Wyatt Sapp, who likes to fall back in line behind Krotz as he saw the lap car coming. But Brendel has now closed up to about a car length here for the race lead. A slide by Sanders in 1 that time. Brendel almost to the back bumper.
All you need is that one little look to get you going there in the battle on for 3rd and 4th. Look at now, he's finally going to make the move. The 46 goes to the inside and will pick up 3rd place. That's Wyatt Sapp, and they were battling for that. Now back to your leaders here, coming out of turn 2. Look at Brendel right up there and A.J. Sanders, not giving him an inch at all.
That time a little bit of a defensive line by Sanders down the front straightaway as they come off the corner. Leaders are going to come down to the line here. We got a car that has spun off of turn 2, and the caution flag will wave.
51 of Andrew Cates, your outside pole sitter, comes to a stop on the back straightaway. And yeah, you can tell he spun a little bit there. You see the tire tracks right there but he fires up and he's going again. Wonder if he's mad at someone.
It's been back-to-back yellow flags by a driver with the last name Cates. This one is Andrew Cates who brings out the yellow flag. Last time around, it was Austin Cates who spun down there in the corner. It sounds as though there may have been a little bit of help from the number 31 of Kyler Staley, who ironically they started nose to tail. As you mentioned, outside pole for Cates. Staley was 4th. And we believe that they may have gotten together. That may be a little bit evident by some of that left front fender damage on the 31 there.
So now this will restart the field. We have Sanders in front, then Brendel. But the number 46 of Wyatt Sapp was making his move to come up through the field. Let's see if he becomes a factor in here.
I think it takes Brandon Brendel's car a couple of laps to get going. The unfortunate bit of this is that's all he's got. Yeah.
Well, you better get it going quicker there if you want to see something, make something happen.
J.B. Cole is going to give the 1-to-go signal for what might be the final restart of the night. And Tim, what better way to end this night than with an old-fashioned green-white checker with the top 2 in points, each vying for their 6th win of the season. Doesn't get much better than this.
Well, Bowman Gray Stadium style racing, and I absolutely love it. And it's great to come up here from Mooresville, where I live, and do these races. And it's always exciting, totally exciting.
Top 4 in the championship points, running 1st through 4th, as pointed out by our stat man, Justin Mincy. Who's going to win the race? It's going to be A.J. Sanders and Brandon Brendel bringing us down for the green-white checker finish. And Brendel doesn't get going.
Well, you said it took a couple laps, and the Wyatt there, Sapp in the number 46, he gave him a good rep, and let's see if it affected him at all, because now he's falling back.
Sapp trying to hold on to 3rd. Krotz going to send it in on the inside. Here comes Sanders while Brendel tries to battle back. White flag for A.J. Sanders.
And here he goes right through turns 1 and 2, nice and smooth. Makes his way down the back straightaway. No competition, no pressure whatsoever. He'll whip it through 3 and 4, and once again, he will take another victory here. In the stadium stocks here at Bowman Gray Stadium, there is your winner.
6th win of the season for A.J. Sanders. As we mentioned, that ties his personal best, which he's done 4 times before, 2012, 2014, 2015. And this time he held off the hottest driver in stadium stocks in Brandon Brendel to get the job done.
Well, there you go, and he equals that. So this is, like you said, this will be the fourth time he's done this in his career. Uh-oh, wait a minute. On the back straightaway, we have a couple guys that apparently have a magnets in their cars. Oh, we have a couple more with magnets in their cars. They seem to be drawn together here by some magical force that goes on here at Bowman Gray.
We list off the drivers who are mad at each other, but I think there's too many to name on that back straightaway pile, and we may not necessarily be done yet. This is why fans flock to the pit area once the night is over.
We need a camera back there. Just a little thing on a little robot cam so we can watch that. And whoever security is over there, God bless, whatever they got to do there.
What an amazing night. And you see Sanders there. We're still not done pushing.
No, he's
that
helping.
Might be some
He's
help.
helping.
Yeah, there we go.
That looks like friendly help there.
Well, we control the narrative. We could say that they're a little bit mad at each other, can't we?
Yeah, we could. That looked like just someone actually being nice here.
Let's pour a little more fuel on that fire. AJ Sanders joins Andy Southern as a winner on the night. Billy Gregg took home top honors in the street stocks. We saw Brandon Ward win the modified 100-lapper, with Burt Myers taking home the Fans Challenge. And Zach Orr and Justin Taylor each split the sportsman races on the night, as we have 4 races left to go. We're going to throw it down now to Robert Collins, who's going to be down there in the winner's circle with AJ Sanders for the 6th time this season.
For the 6th time in 2022, AJ Sanders celebrates a win in the Q1041 Stadium Stock Series. AJ Sanders, for the 6th time in 2022, picks up the win in the second 15-lapper for the Q1041 Stadium Stock Series. Well, AJ, I can't help but bring it up. Last Saturday night, the roles were a little bit reversed, but you were able to hold him off tonight. Tell us about how you did it.
I knew he was going to be right there, and I knew I had to keep it on the bottom. Last week, and I told him, I wasn't mad about what happened. I was just disappointed because anytime you're leading and you get something happening, and the most thing was the racetrack was not ready to go back racing. It was nasty, and when he hit me in the door, it just knocked me up, and round I went. That was last week. This is this week, and I got first thing. I thank the good Lord above for a good, safe race. Wish my wife could have been. She got sick, so she had to go home. But I thank my sponsors: Carolina Trad Tours Realty, Twin City Towing, Tommy. He's here somewhere. Clifton Plumbing, Racing Radios, this Radical Race Gear. Can't hardly talk. Jimmy and Teresa Brown for their help, and my family, friends. Jerry Hunt, of course. We can't do this without him. He's a big one. But I'm just so happy. I mean, 6, that's tied off our most wins I've ever got. It's going to come down to the end with me and Brandon, and that's okay. Brandon's got a real fast car, and I knew I had to start a little bit early to try to get by with it, and I did. And I knew I had to do that so he could get the bumper to me.
Well, AJ Sanders picks up the win in the second 15-lapper for the Q1041 Stadium Stock Series. He'll make his way over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle to pick up his hardware for his 6th win of 2022.
Wow, so AJ Sanders, courtesy of Justin Mincy, his 55th career win, and it ties him with Paul Radford for 9th on the all-time wins list as Sanders tries to get en route to another stadium stock title.
We've had some major accomplishments go on here tonight with guys winning the races that they won, so it's, that's even better. It's not just a win, it's a win, a historical win for them and for the track.
So Sanders said it's going to come down to the end. We're getting close to it. Only 4 races left to go on the Bowman Gray Stadium slate for 2022. Upcoming races include the Colors Edge Sportsman 100 next week. If you cannot be here, you can watch all the action live on Flow Racing. For information on how to obtain tickets to upcoming races, visit BowmanGrayRacing.com. Tim, what a night, man. I don't know if we'll have the chance to do this again this season, but I've had an absolute blast. We have an incredible team.
Mutual.
We had some great racing
tonight. This was great tonight. 100-lap modified race, the action we saw at the end, and the sportsman races. I mean, this was just a great night, and great working with you. And we both live in Mooresville. Maybe we should get together some night.
I'm on board with that.
Just maybe have a hot dog beverage.
We'll schedule one out, I'm sure. Maybe we can go back to the pit area and see what refreshments some of these teams have.
Oh, that's free, right? Let's do that.
Of course. What a night. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to our incredible team, from our production team, our camera operators, everyone back at Mission Control and NASCAR as well. It's been an absolute blast. Matthew Dillon will be back in the saddle next week. On behalf of Justin Mincy, our stat guy, Tim Packman joining me alongside, I'm Eric Brennan. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.